trying to gap up here to start the session and the week. Actually, the last week of course, June of 2026 and the end of H1 2026 and Q2. So just be aware, guys, we're heading into the new second half of the year starting on Wednesday. S&P 500 again gapping to the upside. We'll take a look at the NASDAQ 100 also gapping to the upside. USO though, kind of choppy right now. We know that the conflict between Iran and the US is back in focus. Whole bunch of different posts, different strikes occurred over the weekend. Most recently, though, earlier this morning, President Trump announcing that Iran has requested a meeting. It'll be occurring tomorrow, June 30th in Doha, Qatar. So hopefully some updates here when it comes to peace, but there are a lot of updates when it comes to news, as there are pretty much every Monday morning. I would think we have CMCSA gapping to the upside, bringing other communication plays like CHTR with it. They're announcing plans to separate their media and technology businesses. We also have a new entrant to the NASDAQ 100 as of July 7th. That's going to be SpaceX. Lots of Mag 7 names in focus as well. Palantir and Nvidia with a deal. As always, on a Monday morning, there's going to be a ton to talk about. And I also want to let you guys know here, just for housekeeping, no major economic numbers that we have occurring today. We will have at 10:30 a.m. Dallas Fed manufacturing, but nothing else in terms of massive number releases for most of this week. Tomorrow, that we're going to get JOLTS job openings. Good morning, Sharif. Happy Monday. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you, Adara. Lots to talk about today, guys. Apple turning to a Chinese memory supplier, possibly to try to get their hands on some memory, as the price hikes from last week were none well received at all. Hysterical lawmakers over the weekend wanting to break up Apple. We'll get more into that later. Google also limiting Meta's access to compute as they've been using Gemini, but Google looking at saving some of that compute for their customers as well as themselves. Tesla in the headlines as well. The NHTSA closing the investigation into the steering wheel. We also have new delivery numbers from Tesla. SpaceX also in focus as Elon Musk tweeting over the weekend that they've begun testing on Grok 4.5, which has been interesting because we've seen him now sort of rent out compute because he doesn't really need it for Grok users. Amazon Prime Day in focus. DRAM also in focus as Samsung and SK Hynix both announced that they're going to be aggressively expanding production capacity in that country. That is, of course, ahead of SK Hynix expected listing in the next month, I believe, Adara. And then Baidu as well, also up on the morning, and Bitcoin continues to bleed.
And big tech, I think, really the theme of the stories today. How are you doing today, Sean and Joe? Good morning and welcome to both of you.
Yeah, we're back. We're back. How's it going?
What's up, man?
Got my mic now. We just got to mute Joe. How's it going? Hold on. I got to take this out of my ear.
Oh, okay. You got that going on.
Team Canada. Oh, here. Team Canada yesterday. What a nice movement that was yesterday. Into the round of 16 finally for the first time. You know, finally winning one of those elimination matches. And then United States goes this week as well. That should be a good one. I'm trying to get my stream deck all loaded up here, and that should be a lot of fun for everybody. And now I'm starting to get. I wasn't too into the World Cup until now, obviously. And now I see that round of 32 come through, and now I'm looking through. And here in Toronto, we have Portugal versus Croatia coming in. I was telling Sharif about how much of a huge game, obviously, that's going to be for people around here. I mean, we have so many Croatian and Portuguese, people in this area. And hold on a second, I can't. There it is. Okay. There we go. I had to hit that for once, But I was in lovely Vermont, Burlington, Vermont.
How was that?
It was amazing. And I have something to tell you. I took full self-drive.
Yeah.
The whole way.
Oh, yeah?
The whole way.
How was it?
8 hours, I barely even touch, you don't even have to touch the wheel.
How were you?
Almost zero disengagement. The only reason you would disengage it is because you're getting nervous.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, is it going to make this?
Did you get nervous at any point, or?
No, not really. I mean, when I first started using it, it was a little bit like, is this actually what it is?
And then
literally, dude, you could just sit back
and
just relax and look at the scenery.
And just look at everything.
And it was just like, so anyways, I am now I got to thank you for it because you're telling me just to get it. Big, huge fan. And the thing is I was trying to use it on the way into the office, and you could just hit it whenever you want. You don't even have to put a direction.
So it's like cruise control.
It will just go and just drive randomly, if you want to.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't like it as much in the city streets.
Yeah.
Because if I know a light's about to turn, I like to give it a little bit more gas and get through those lights.
Well, Mad Max. You could set
set all that, and it was just. but it was awesome.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
so I don't know. I think it's great for longer trips. Like, I don't know why, Randy, like if I was traveling
that much from
40, 50 an hour a day on highway and stuff like that, I think it would be an absolute life changer.
So you're going to hold on to it, or you think you're going to, it was just more
of the thing is, we have, so that's what we were thinking about, is that we have other baseball, other hockey events happening all throughout the summer that involve traveling. So I think we'll probably use it for that. It's just, the thing is, like, the mental stress, like from driving 8 hours, like you're on the road, you're looking, you're focused, you're blah, 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 you're talking to the wife, you're flipping the music. Like, so there's lots going on, and that takes up mental capacity.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like arriving from, like traveling for 8 hours and basically like not even having to focus on the road.
Just being like that.
It's like, it just gives you such mental, like, I love to drive.
So you have that much confidence in it. That's good to hear.
I didn't even, no, like this is me driving.
Yeah.
Coffee like this. I was doing the whole Kevin O'Leary thing. I was getting like this in the car.
All right.
I was watching, like looking at things. The thing is, if you're looking over here at that lovely mountain in beautiful Vermont, and you're looking over there, and then all of a sudden he's been looking there for 5 seconds, it'll flash on the screen and basically say, get your ass back to looking forward.
No way.
I had my hat on and it was a little low.
Yeah.
And they're like, bro, we're not sure if you're looking forward or not.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, you gotta start looking forward.
All right.
But you don't have to. Oh, happy birthday, Joe. Is it your birthday?
No,
Okay.
don't let them get into
okay. So, anyways, great experience.
That's
so
good. Yeah,
long Tesla.
Long Tesla. Let's see how Tesla's doing here today, anyways.
And everybody in the chat was like, full self-drive is awesome. And I don't even have the newest hardware. So like
you don't have the latest version?
No, mine's a 23.
Okay.
So it's not even like the best one. The only thing I found that was a problem, like it's not greatest at parking. So like it rolls into the lot and it highlights spots and you can pick them.
Yeah.
But it has a hard time finding its own spot.
Yeah, that's all right. I think we can deal with that.
Yeah,
like
I just disengage
eliminate the highway driving, and then we can park from here to there. I think we'll be all right. But speaking of Tesla, I mean, we're getting 0.75% here this morning to the top side. Katina, man, you and I both being like, man, what is even happening with NVDA? We're down to $194, doing some TA last night. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more downside in this bad boy. We can pull up the old, I know these guys got some stuff going on, but what I was thinking here, and we talked about this shelf, it was only inevitable. You had this head and shoulders pattern that you guys cannot see at this given moment from April to about where we're sitting at June 18th.
Andre's not over there.
Yeah, no, they're working on something.
Oh, is there a problem?
Anyways, if you pull up your charting, you can see that a head and shoulders pattern was established on NVDA over the past couple of months.
I mean, are you worried about NVIDIA? We just talked about that.
No, I mean,
because they can't see the chart right
No, they can't. Am I worried about it? For the long run, no, but just because we're here every day and we talk about it, right now it doesn't look pretty. And I've mentioned this on multiple occasions. I just hope it doesn't fall into like a Microsoft 2.0 where it's dead money for quite some time.
I almost have that exact same shirt. And I'm glad I didn't wear it.
All right, well, why, man?
It's like
we can be like, you got the blue one.
Oh, no, you would look way better.
Sharif's got the blue
way
one
better
as well, too.
But
yeah, no, I just don't want it to fall into in the world of Microsoft. I don't think it will. Microsoft's been dead money for quite some time. You're in April of 2025 levels, and if you zoom out a little bit more, it gets even worse, like January of 2024. For me on NVIDIA, it's such a scary thought to think about when that Capex spending stops. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the next thing you see is like, what becomes the reason then for NVIDIA's, valuation when if you know that you're going to get like 100 billion, like if Microsoft doesn't include another 100 billion the next time or whatever it is. We saw Oracle last week. I just saw on our note, it was down 19% last week or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, so, we're a little worried about the spend here and where they're going to get the money for that. And then plus you had Google, which, are we able to flip yet, Andre, or no? Okay.
Well, that's what I was just about to mention is Google. So
they diluted themselves.
But I wouldn't be as worried about Google as I would with NVDA, right? Just due to the fact that, hey, you can have people involved in the ecosystem outside of massive capital expenditures. So once you have your massive build out, you still have all of those AI tools plus everything and every other segment within the company itself, right? So
here's something to think about. What about selling, Google being down, looks like 15% or so from the high, something similar to NVIDIA. What about just swapping them?
Yeah, that'd be
like if we think that we don't see the runway as easily for NVIDIA, as we possibly do with the moat that's surrounding around Google. But then if you do that kind of a switch, you still are invested in tech, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't completely offload all the shares, but maybe reducing some size would be more ideal, and just maybe rotating into something else. Like JP Morgan, while you were gone, Katina, man, the banks are most likely always going to succeed unless there's some form of financial crisis.
I'm loving the banks.
Right? So, I mean, JP Morgan hit all-time highs on Thursday. It did sell off a little bit, but the banks are looking pretty good, in my opinion, as well, too.
Yeah, I like the banks. And right now, Bitcoin going on a little bit of a jaunt here. We're going to have Michael Noss come through this morning, I believe. I shouldn't say that without checking the calendar. But there goes Bitcoin. Like, what just happened there? 33.8 up to 34.3. A nice move on Bitcoin as we try to hold out. So, yeah, that's right. We can't show the charts. As Bitcoin, we're just having to let you guys know, normally it doesn't just focus on Joe and I.
Yeah.
But we're having a problem switching over some of the cameras right now. But Bitcoin is on with a nice little run here. Hopefully that can hold. I see gold and silver still not doing the greatest.
No, and I was thinking about grabbing some of those.
Yeah.
But I mean, USO to the downside, that's what I want to see personally. Silver and gold.
$73, right? A barrel now, or even a little bit less.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot better. Is it? And you kind of see that reflected at the pumps. I was there yesterday.
Yeah, it was nice, no?
Yeah, it wasn't horrible.
Didn't I see 149 or something? Or
I put premium, but yeah, it's sub $2, I believe, at this point for 93.
So what was, how bad was it for the 93?
Oh, dude, it was like 235.
Okay, so now you're down to 2.
Right.
So you're down at you're about like 15-20%.
Right, which is pretty good. So.
Trump retains the rights to use Oh man, when is this stuff gonna stop? Well, they had that. I guess there was, and I was paying attention to this on Thursday, Friday. That there was that violation of the ceasefire agreement where apparently they took down one of the ships, and then right away Friday evening, the United States retaliated, right? But USO, which we can't show again the charts, but only up 0.4% right now. So that's what's going on with USO. Are we able to flip back to the desk? You want to keep it here, guys? Okay, we'll stay here.
All right, hey man.
Okay, so
this is what we do, though. We get
nice tan.
You
have a nice.
You know what, man? We were outside. Hey, listen, I was at the Stacked Market yesterday. You know who they made a surprise appearance?
Drake.
Big Sean.
Big Sean.
Yeah, Big Sean was there.
Whoa. Is he the guy that goes whoa and all that kind of stuff?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know his ad libs, but
Big Sean's from Detroit, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he was here.
Yeah, I know these stuff. I know some stuff around here.
So Big Sean making a surprise appearance.
Because yesterday was the Janice Festival.
What's that?
So Drake sent out invitations in Miami.
Who is Janice?
Exactly. Well, I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, okay.
So you know the song, the #1 song. It's called Janice STFU.
Yeah.
So the thing is that's like everybody that's named Janice is like, what the hell? Like,
yeah.
You know, it's like imagine a song was called Joe STFU. You know? Anyways, so he sent out all these invitations to like 1,000 Janices in Miami, New York, I think Toronto, and somewhere else.
Yeah, and
then it was at Cactus Club here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he rented out a whole bunch of these clubs, whatever, and invited all these Janices out there.
Oh, yeah?
And to have the food. I don't know how it wound up going. If there's any Janices
well, I'm sure a lot of them show
up
to Drake's Janice.
Yeah, so. Oh, is that why? Announces Sherry. Okay, so that might have been part of the help there with Bitcoin. Starting to go back to the upside. Anyways, I don't know. Let us know if there's anybody in this chat or if you had a wife or girlfriend named Janice. And how that's been going.
And they attended the festival.
Yeah, festival maybe is a hard word. I think it was just like a 5-hour, like maybe just like
a meet.
Come get some appetizers. I don't know what was going on, but they had random draws.
But do you know who like Janice is to the one he's referring to?
Oh, I don't know about the song.
Yeah, I have no idea either. To be honest,
I don't dig that deep into it, but no. Anyways, it was quite an FSD weekend there. It was, and just being able to put it on. And the thing is too, another great thing about the full self-drive is, when you're on a trip, it tells you that you need to stop at this supercharger.
Oh, okay. So it'll map that out.
Yeah, so it maps it out. So we stopped like in Trenton.
Okay.
And you just sit there, and it was charging. The supercharger was charging 900 kilometers an hour.
Oh.
The charger.
Okay, so you're just there for like
for like 20 minutes.
You're there, exactly.
Yeah, because it stopped in when we were like 20% full.
Yeah.
You plug it in. It had a The first one had a Dairy Queen at it, whatever. So we just stopped in there.
Hit that bang.
Yeah, and then you do that. You go to the washroom, whatever.
Grab a blizzy.
And the next thing you know, it's charged up and it's ready to go.
That's
so
good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But let us know in the chat what you guys are up to. What stocks maybe you're looking at there today, and we'll try to work on this little screen issue that we're having as we continue to go. But that's what we've been doing. You were able to watch the game yesterday?
I was, yeah. A friend of mine came up from my old town, and we were downtown and we were watching.
Where's your old town?
Bradford, Ontario.
Bradford, Ontario.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good old Bulldogs, man.
Bradford
We used
Bulldogs?
to have a junior A team, the Bradford Rattlers, but I don't even know if they're in existence anymore. But when I was playing minor hockey, we were the Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. We'd always have. I know you when you mentioned some teams that
hockey.
Sia would RC.
Yeah, Gia's fine.
Gia would play. I'm like, oh man, I used to play those guys back in the day, like the Barry Colts of the world, right? And all of those other places.
Yeah, so. No, it's. I was trying to find some. Maybe if I have any pictures of this weekend.
How did they do in the tournament?
It was a showcase.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't even a tournament. It was just a showcase of. Basically like all the best, so that you get it was like
it's invite only.
Yeah, invite only.
Yeah.
There was I don't know if I don't know how much you know about women's hockey. Probably not that much. I wouldn't have known either. But Brianne Decker was there. She's like she's a USA Hall of Famer for hockey.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
She was on the Olympic team.
Oh, nice.
Won gold, and she's a coach for the Frost. So they were there, and it was like Gia's 11 turning 12.
Yeah.
Like. There was Penn State was there. Yale was there.
Really?
Yeah, all these prep schools were
there.
Yeah,
they're ready, man.
I'm not sending my daughter away.
Not yet.
No, not even for high school, I don't think. I'm not.
You don't think so?
No.
Why
Would you send your kid? Like, I don't know, like some of the prep schools down south.
What if she wants to? What if she wants to?
Oh, no. I mean, it's a discussion. I just think as a father, I don't want to. Because I don't want to lose that time.
Right? It's quite a bit of time. Like if you're going for 4 years of high school, and you have to live in the billet house,
that's what it is,
right? Like it's like literally,
but the thing is,
it's like other parents raising.
There's a lot of prep schools here in Toronto, though.
Yeah,
right.
So
if that can work out.
Like, listen, man. Yeah, I don't know if you have to, but don't forget, like Toronto. Is a major city within the hockey world, right? So a lot of people come here. So if you have the ability to just stay within the ecosystem, then
But I have some bad news. Because we went into Vermont, we missed out on a tournament for baseball.
Yeah.
Not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they went 1-3.
Oh no.
So I don't know if it was because the coach wasn't there.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, not good. So we got to get back on track with that very, very soon. So, Joe and I are just spitballing.
Yeah, we're literally spitballing.
We can't even really change the screens or anything at this point. And we can't go back to the desk, I don't believe either.
No, we can't do anything. So we're
just have to sit here and chill. What did you eat this weekend?
Barbecued a bunch of chicken. Nothing crazy, to be honest with you.
We're gone.
Oh, we're back. There we go.
Adara's back. There we go. Okay, maybe
it's a quick refresh.
Maybe now we're back. Everybody's starting to. That's kind of a good look right there. You got the ticker on the bottom. This looks like we're in the Matrix.
Yeah, there you go. It's like three-dimensional.
We'll just keep talking until someone tells us otherwise.
We get them talking there
right now. But this is how we know who the loyal fans are. Who the true watchers of Trader TV are.
I don't even have the
as Joe and I ramble on for 20 plus minutes.
and like, we haven't even really talked that much stock, really, to be honest with you.
Sharif reading the chat over there, he's looking back and forth.
MSTR, man.
I mean, I'd let those guys, I'd let Sharif, I don't know if they can hear Sharif's mic. I don't know anything at this point. But we're having, anyways, lemon pepper was great. Oh, we went on to, in the streets of Burlington was quite nice. They have Lake Champlain right there.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, here we go.
There we are.
There we are.
It's them now.
All right. Okay. I think we might be back.
Yeah, we might be back.
I have a feeling we're back. No. So we don't even really have a cameraman other Zinc here. We just We have a bunch of Andre there.
We got the whole team working on.
It's the buttons back and forth.
Yeah, it's production, man.
What was Milo saying?
Don't even get me started.
Was he in trouble?
He just ate something this morning, so we're just having like a crisis right now.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So
I just brought that up out of the blue there.
My phone's ringing down, so I'm getting yelled at this morning and everything. Oh yeah.
Why are you getting yelled at? What did you do, my guy?
It's always my fault.
You left the chicken bone out or something? You left some of those wings out?
Anyways, aside from that, so I'm like, it's absolutely chaotic this morning in the Wilson household. So yeah.
It's Milo Wilson, or did he take her last name?
Wait, come on. That's great. It's crazy.
I'm just wondering. Crazy, I mean, these days, I don't know.
You never know these
days,
man. So, yeah, exactly. It's madness.
I think you guys should hyphenate his last name.
Yeah, Wilson or Johnston Wilson, right? Yeah. MJW. Yeah, please.
Do you want cocaine or coffee? What did you say?
Oh.
Easy now. I'd love a coffee. Let us know. Oh, it's still not ready yet. Okay.
Crazy.
All right, so what about SpaceX? So SpaceX added into the NASDAQ 100. That'll be effective July.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was added
Do you want to go to the desk? Sure.
On Friday, it was added to the MSCI.
No, but they got approval for NASDAQ 100
yeah, exactly.
happening on July the 7th.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try to throw to the desk, so why don't we try that?
There you go. She's about to sneak away.
Is that what Andre just told me? Okay, whenever you're ready, there it is.
Okay, I have to hold on. I'll be back.
Yeah. Here with you, and thank you, Joe and Sean, for holding it down in the interim, and thanks to our awesome production team. And I'm sure if you're long Palantir, you're probably saying thank you, Palantir, because PLTR, nice gap to the upside. They have an Nvidia deal here.
Yeah, they got a couple of headlines, Adair. They're debuting a secure AI engine alongside Nvidia, and they're also expanding their software suite commercialization with Surf Air Mobility. Let's cover the Nvidia headline first. You're going to read probably an article about this, and it's just going to be like, oh, this is just a generic tie-up for a model. That's not what's happening here. Palantir built a highly specific and intelligent engine to run Nvidia's Nemotron. Remember this one? Their own proprietary LLM. It's going to be run isolated, completely on its own in air-gapped environments. The point is to make it highly secure for government use, right? We saw this whole debacle with Oracle not having the right, government security software on parts of its cloud infrastructure. This is part and parcel of the same story. When it comes to the Surf Air Mobility, just 3 days, I just got to tell you guys, just 3 days before the announcement, Surf Air Mobility, which is ticker, by the way, guys, SRFM, they filed a prospectus and they issued about 4.7 million shares of common stock directly to Palantir. So Palantir, as a result of this tie-up with Surf Air, they're going to get a non-cash equity consideration in exchange for kind of blending in Foundry AIP with their software. So good look at Air, and they definitely need it because it was a tough week for them last week.
And Surf Air is also a potential small cap play here, guys. They do have about a 15% short float, currently trading around $1.30. Also be aware, we're getting comments coming from Kevin Hassett, who's, of course, White House economic advisor. Quote, arguments for a rate hike right now are not so strong. Indicators pointing to another strong jobs report. We know that he's backed off on trying to get the Fed to be in a situation where they're cutting right away, but very clearly also not pro a hike. Sean, Palantir, one of your favorites. I saw this catalyst and I thought, great day for Sean to come back.
Yeah, I was just reading about it right now. Look, I mean, I was looking at Palantir and just thinking, when's this potential bleeding going to stop? And, oh, hey, thank you, Randy. Oh, Joe got an espresso instead. What's up, my guy? Yeah. There you go. Cheers. I was wondering about 100 there. Andre, I still have Joe in my ear. I know they're dealing with different things. You know what? I'm just going to mute the program here so I don't have to hear you. But yeah, maybe it did just bounce off $100 there, Palantir, right? If it goes down to, there it is, good. Down to 106 there. Nice couple days back up to the upside right here for PLTR. It's nice that there is, a talk with Nvidia again, because, we've seen some of these software names just been getting absolutely destroyed over the last 2 or 3 weeks, right? So Palantir hits that 200 period moving average right on the knot and then all the way back in, bounces now off of 106 there for Nvidia. But the company's announced a joint initiative to deploy Nvidia's Nemotron in OpenAI models, which is nice, integrates it with their Foundry platforms, everything, yada, yada, yada. Palantir right now trading up 3%, while Nvidia's trading up 4%, while Nvidia's just up 1%. I mean, I'd like to see them, get up to this 125 marker. Is this enough to really rally it today? I don't know. I kind of want to sell pops, honestly, right now in the market in general. I mean, we talked about moving over to some names that were not sort of central to data and software. And I think Palantir is basically both of those, gathering the data, processing it, putting it into these AI models, and then spinning out some sort of a result. We've seen names like Salesforce and all that really starting to get hit. You saw Oracle last week with not a nice little week there either. I wanted to actually look at what Palantir's PE was, because I still believe that a lot of these names are getting hit on valuation, right? And until you get into something that's a little more reasonable right now, you may have a little bit of a downdraft in Palantir. It still has a 76 forward PE and a current PE of 126, right? So when you're going to look at a name like Softy or something like that, and you're going to see a PE of 19 as opposed to 76 or 125 as opposed to 22, you can look at a name like Google, like what Joe and I was just talking about. Okay, let's go. Then you got a 25 PE on that one. A name like Meta, where we are.
It's much cheaper, 20.
Yeah, 20. Yeah. So these are all market multiples right now. Yeah, I don't know if the software will show it to SPY. No, I don't think. No, it doesn't show the Ford.
Yeah, but apparently SPY.
I think it's like 24, 25. I thought it was.
Which is a little expensive.
It's expensive right now, but if that's expensive, the stocks that should be driving a lot of this are even that or lower right now, right? And so for me, I like the story on Palantir. I always look at the 200 period moving average. So that's all the way down here at 115. Mm-hmm. I think a pullback into 115 for Palantir probably gets me long. The only name that I have written down right here, right now, and I don't know what the topic's going to be with Michael, even if we're going to go to him at this point, but SpaceX is an interesting name for me today. We've been bouncing off of this 160 for a couple minutes, and I just thought today was the day. It's the number one stock that I've written down here today to break through this 160 level. So if that can happen, I think SpaceX, with a little bit of a story today, I actually thought when I was there sitting on Friday and I saw that story come in Friday after market, I actually thought SpaceX was going to be up a lot more than it has been over the last week, right? I thought we would be breaking above that 160 and potentially touching that 175 marker there today. So do I think that's still possible? Yes. Does it look like SpaceX wants to go up $20 from now?
No.
No. So I know you're invested in it. I'm invested in it. I think we all are. I know Neil is as well. So yeah, not much going on with SpaceX today considering the catalyst. You talked about it being added on Friday to the Russell.
No, MS.
MS?
Yeah, MS.
And then on the rebalancing there. And then now we get NASDAQ on Monday going to add SpaceX through.
Yeah.
We have to say Happy Canada Day. We will still be here on Wednesday. But Wednesday, July the 1st, Canada Day.
I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they just host it on the weekend, like have it the weekend.
No, I think even that's the same thing with the States, isn't it? Whatever day July 4th lands on,
have that.
That's the day, right?
So it just so happens to be on a Friday. This week.
Joe killed the internet. I think that is what happened there. You matched it up, but no, it's been good. I think we're back. ready to rock and roll and get fixed here again.
That's good. But yeah, listen, I'm kind of in the same boat here. We were talking about NVDA. I think what the market is already pricing in here, and I think Sharif can agree with this at this point, is that you have some of these custom ASIC plays within Amazon and Google who are going to be the hyperscalers. So what I was just thinking, what's going on behind the scenes is just the fact that the market might be pricing it out. So the question being is, what is that next wave for NVDA? Could it be sovereign nations? Could it just be the steady upgrade of these systems? Because apparently they're only good for so many years, so you'll have to upgrade it at some point. But the way the stock is performing right now, in my opinion, it's not the best. But I'm not going to be ringing or sounding any alarms just yet. If it gets uglier, which I'm not sure it will, to Katina Man, but anything can happen. We can't see the future. I'm going to remain somewhat optimistic within this name and bullish, even though it doesn't look great right now. I've said this on multiple occasions. What's really disappointing is this 8-month consolidation with a couple false breakouts and no real demand. It did the exact same thing again. You break up to 235, and then you're just starting to come back in, giving back the majority of that breakout move to the tune of where you're almost down 20%, entering bear market territory. Right? So it's just the lengthy consolidation that I don't like, and I mentioned it from before, is look how similar this is from a price action standpoint to what Microsoft was doing for quite some time, right? Like you're down, like you're trading within that $50 range, just moving sideways for over a year. And you're just like, what's actually going on here? And then you have the exact same narrative here in NVDA. So what I was thinking is, hey, where do we really start to put our chips? Like, where are we going to put our money? And we like to put our money where our mouth is. And I was thinking, well, AMD is moving a little bit different, but it's also had those lengthy consolidations before breaking out as well, too. The difference being here from a technical standpoint is you go from October to March, right? October of 25 to March of 26, where you're just moving sideways, very little appreciation from a percentage standpoint, but then you just have this massive breakout, right? So we talk from a textbook standpoint. All right, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the potential breakout. Well, you're fortunate enough to get that here in AMD.
All right, why don't we go back up to the desk and we'll see what they're up to back up there.
I mean, we could talk some once we get back. I don't know if Nos is coming. We got the options and the upgrades and downgrades. I don't know if that stuff's working there just yet. So yeah, we'll send it back to the desk.
Talk about Apple, as Sharif alluded to during our little opening spiel for you guys at 8 a.m. Apple has a couple different catalysts. We know that, of course, memory is still a concern. Apparently, they're trying to get some permissions to access some memory from a company in China. We also have reports of India antitrust-related investigations. There's a lot to talk about with AAPL.
Yeah, let's talk about the one that matters here, guys. Lobbying campaign to obtain White House approval to buy from Changxin Memory, okay? So this is China's largest memory manufacturer, and it's Apple's response to what's now being called by analysts as Ramageddon. They really like including Armageddon in everything. We've seen components really quadruple in costs. This is a blacklisted company, though, and I'm going to explain what I mean by blacklisted because it's not exactly what everybody thinks. But I was just telling Joey over the weekend, listen to this, guys. The memory and the storage components, just as a cost, okay, for the iPhone 17 Pro was $50. For iPhone 18 Pro, they're making the assessment, of course, analysts, because we don't know quite yet, that storage and memory component for the 18 Pro is going to be $200. So it's a $150 increase right off the bat. Apple scrambling. They don't know what to do. So media reports that, this Changxin Memory Technologies company is blacklisted, but what they miss is the critical legal distinction that Apple's trying to exploit here. So currently, they're only restricted for Defense Department contracts, but they're not legally barred from doing business with private commercial transactions with companies like Apple. So Apple's aggressively lobbying the administration for an ironclad guarantee that they're not going to withhold or put them onto this military linked list. It's called the 1260H list. And so they want guarantees from the administration that if they do a deal with this Chinese memory company, the White House or the administration in general won't come back and then add them onto that list. And the reason is because Samsung, SK Hynix, Micron, they're all directing all their resources to HBM to satisfy the demand of the hyperscalers, and they're not really caring a whole lot about DDR5 or just regular RAM. So that is the problem there. There's also, $145 increase that people are saying is going to be on the iPhone 18 Pro Adara, but again, we don't really quite know yet.
Yeah, Ming-Chi Kuo also weighed in on this here, and he said that based on what he's seeing, the real reason for this is, again, concerns that these memory issues will continue through 2027. But specifically, he said with the timing, that's with the fact that Tim Cook isn't going to be CEO for too much longer. He's got a couple months left, and because he has really good relationships with both Washington and Beijing, Ming-Chi Kuo believes that the company probably feels Tim Cook is the best person to get this change to be able to successfully lobby for this change. So we'll have to see what happens there. Are you guys watching AAPL today?
Yeah, I think you always got to look at it, right? I mean, the fact is the market's up 1% here and Apple's down. So I personally, as an Apple investor, I was extremely nervous about what's happening here with Apple, and it's not necessarily that I'm worried about the longer term here. Andre, if there's any way you can mute Joe's mic in my ear, I know you're busy, but I can't take this. Down to 270 right there for Apple. That's your 200 period moving average. Joe and I kind of said to ourselves, is this just noise that we're seeing a lot in the market and this is about to come back up? I'm not so sure. Like these costs, have to get passed on somewhere. And I actually think the Apple consumer isn't too worried about $100 extra in memory, $200 extra. I'm a little worried about that folding phone. I don't know how successful that's going to be, and if they spent enough time and money on that, and you know how that's going to impact, and if that flops, what does the market think about Apple in that situation? You're still, you're on Joe's screen. That's fine. That's a 3-minute chart there for Apple that Joe has.
No, it was your screen.
No, it was yours. There it is. Now back to me. Yeah, I'm just looking right here. If we can bounce off that 200 period moving average like it looks like we've done, then back up to the upside. I'm thinking that we do have a nice little runway for Apple to get back up to the top. You know, I think their earnings will be somewhat solid, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was muted. You know, it's not the greatest quarter for them. You know, you want to wait for the new iPhone to come out, potentially into September, October, when they have some new releases. The Siri AI agent doesn't seem to be really that much better. We didn't get anything at WDC to tell us that, hey, Apple, you know, has corrected any of their problems. We do know you can use Gemini and Grok and chat and all that stuff just through an app on Apple, but has it made Siri any better? I still have the iPhone 14, so I'm not 100%. What was that? Was that the... That was the voice of God.
Yeah.
There happened.
It's the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. I'm just looking at Apple today, right? Pulling back in. I think it's going to be a short here into the day just because of the way it's looking. You know, we'll see if we can hold out for that 282. But right into there, if we drop below, I do think that we can retest a little lower. So we'll see if we can break back down through 282, make a little lower here, and then watch out. Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen today, but 274, 275, those look like good buy zones, not only there, but also on the daily, right? But Apple's had these trends, you know, and you know, when it starts to fall down, often it will find a bottom there and start to go back up. I mean, we know that there's a lot of funds that have to keep on buying. And it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? As you contain yourself with Apple, it's a stock that people go to, they buy on dips. So, you know, I do like the stock, but I do not think the pain is over. I think there is a potential that we do revisit 270 at some point, and it's 285 right now. So, you know, I think there's a little bit of a downturn coming.
I mean, honestly, the more I think about it, I'm in the camp of it's just forever noise. Like, think about how long Apple's been around for. If you just, I mean, when you're in doubt, zoom out. There's going to be things stepping into the market. From when I first started trading, at first it was QT. You sell off, you have the increase of interest rates. Then I mean, before that, you have COVID hit the markets. Then you have the tariff tantrum. Now you have this Capex. These companies just find a way to just continuously perform, and I'm going to stick with that. And you know what, Sean? To your point is, like, if you really want to eliminate some of the noise, you look at a name like Apple here, where it's down, I mean, double digits off of the highs, right? Like, you're down 10%, you're hitting down 10%, but then you go over to the NASDAQ and the SPY, you're down half of that. Are you going to get any crazy form of capital appreciation? No, but it's nice and steady. So, I mean, listen, there's a reason why some of these companies are worth $4 trillion, $3 trillion, multiple trillions of dollars, and I think they're just going to continue to perform. It's tough to, especially when you're focused on it every day, to kind of just phase out all of that noise. But at the end of the day, these guys have ridiculous amounts of cash. They have individuals within the ecosystem, and I think it's going to be a continuous driver for the foreseeable future. These dip buys, I'm in the camp of these dip opportunities, these down 10%, down 13% in Google, those are my opportunities to buy, in my opinion. But yeah, let's send it back to the desk. Let's see what they got going on here. Maybe we got a special guest for you guys.
I believe we're going to be welcoming on here Mr. Michael Noss of Stats Edge. Excited to have him on here. Michael Noss, CMT. We're going to talk about some AI. Before we do that, good morning. Happy early Canada Day. How are you doing today?
I'm excited for Canada Day. Although it's going to rain out here, I hope it's going to be better in your neck of the woods.
I don't think we have any rain forecasted, but hopefully you guys don't get any either. Our fingers and toes are crossed. Let's talk here about the AI bubble, because I understand you want to talk about some of these AI plays and maybe some hope that can be found even with recent weakness.
Yeah, and it just starts with, the first slide. I've got this. I saw this stuff kind of all weekend. Just, the central banks are saying the AI, it's going to be another financial collapse and all of this. And I don't blame anyone for doing parallels to old times where markets were insane like this and certain sectors, especially technology, was ripping. But it seems like every time we just get any kind of movement in these names, all of these narratives come back up when it comes to, is this 2000 or 2008 or where are we in this cycle? And I'm just going to make my argument from what I saw in the charts and in my work this weekend that the market doesn't really care that the AI stocks are coming down. And I know it's unfortunate for a lot of people who hold all of these names to see some of these names doing so poorly. So like Nvidia, for example, is the next chart. If you're an Nvidia holder, and a lot of it is technically kind of in a bear market. We're in a bear market territory. It's 19 some odd percent down. 18.42 just with this rough drawing I went, so roughly 20% down. So if you're focused on this area in the sector, some of it does feel very bear markety, especially the Mag 7. However, if we go to the next chart, this is IWM making a new all-time closing highs on Fridays, daily, monthly, weekly, yearly. This has never been higher. And yes, the Mag 7 is under pressure a little bit, but this is the moment where we look at it and we say, is this a sell-off, a crash, or is it just rotation? Are people just taking profits in some names and then moving over in others? And I've been, pounding the rotation table for a long time here, but this is a clear example of that, in which when you have 2,000 stocks or 2,000 tiny stocks making a new all-time highs at the same time, again, Nvidia and Microsoft and some of these names are in these big drawdowns. That to me doesn't show a bubble popping or some sort of collapse or something. It shows rotation. People are selling those names and buying other names. So another example I have here in the next chart is IBB. This is biotechs. Look at this clean breakout in the biotech stock sector. And what's happened, even though the S&P 500's down, 6-7 days in a row almost now, we have IBB just absolutely ripping out of this base, cracking to new highs. This to me is not only saying that the market's not scared about the future of the world, which is what causes, bubble pops and recessions and blowups. They're super excited, just in different areas. In this biotech sector in particular, like that chart is screaming breakout to me on that one in particular. So then the next one here is KRE. These are your small regional bank guys, not a new all-time high, but a new multi-year high and very close to an all-time high, breaking out of that kind of $70 area, making a new all-time high on Friday and then all through last week. These are the kind of ma and pa banks that lend to local companies that are building things and creating things, think small industrial companies and farmers and things like that, making a new high. This is not something that I see if there's some sort of bubble collapsing and throwing everything up. And yeah, last but not least here is XLV. So this is healthcare. Your entire healthcare sector looks like it's on the verge of a breaking out to new highs. The list could go on, but I didn't want to bore you guys with details. Financials are doing fantastic. A lot of these sectors are doing great. So really just, I know we've done a lot of heavy math on what I've been doing recently, but for this one, I just wanted to kind of take a second to zoom out and to look around and to say, man, if I am just focused on some of this AI stuff, there's a lot of volatility, a lot of noise, a lot of craziness going on there. The guys, when I was getting ready there, were talking about Apple, and I talked about that on Friday and how Apple got kind of killed there, but the rest of the world is doing just fine. So I think it's one of those moments where you have to look at your trading and look at your portfolio, and if it's hurting, then you might just be too concentrated in a single area, and you might want to do what it seems like the rest of the world's doing, where you just kind of look out there and say, yes, a healthcare company or a small regional bank isn't going to 1,000x like SanDisk did or any of these things, but there are other places out there to invest, and there's other places out there to trade, and a lot of those places are doing just fine. That's kind of bucking this narrative of some sort of bubble popping.
I do have a couple of questions here, things that I'm curious about that I think we can discuss. So we talked about, of course, Nvidia, as you mentioned here on the chart. That's been beat up. Palantir trying to recover, but getting really pretty beat up. Oracle at its worst week since 2001. But there are names that, as you just mentioned, SanDisk and Micron, that are still kind of near those all-time highs. So I guess my question would be, if you are an investor that's in one of those AI stocks, this is part of the general sector that's been struggling, but they're still doing relatively well, how would you suggest people maybe approach that type of situation?
Well, in traditional technical analysis, we just do a top-down approach. So one of my favorite sayings in trading and investing is that, you pull the weeds to water the flowers. So you look at your portfolio and you say, okay, in this period of time where most stocks are hitting a new all-time highs, are my stocks hurting? And if so, what I do personally, I'm not going to tell other people what to do. What I do personally is I just go through, and anything that's really underperforming, I sell some or all. and then I look to transfer that over. And I think an easy way to do that is by just doing a top-down approach. So I showed a bunch of sectors out there that were breaking out to new highs. And then from there, you can go inside those sectors to look for what other stocks are strong. So if you like healthcare, take a look at your Oscar Healths or your Eli Lilly's. If you like, these regional banks, there's like 1,000 of those things to look at, and just kind of go top down and say, okay, my stuff isn't working. Let me raise maybe a little bit of cash if you think this is going to continue, and let me go shopping in these other areas that are making new highs.
And I like that answer as well, because I was going to ask you to kind of, if you have a situation like XLV where we're kind of on the cusp of breaking out, but you're not sure if it's going to break out, the idea that you can look within the sector for other plays is a really nice alternative. So I really appreciate you saying that. Where can the people find you if they want to see more of your insights, Mr. Michael Noss?
Yeah, as always, Stats Edge Trading is my website, and you can find me at Michael Noss CMT on all socials out there.
There we go, Michael Noss, CMT. You can also find him on this show every 8:30 a.m. on Monday and Friday. Happy Canada Day, Michael. We will see you. I guess we won't see you this Friday, but we'll see you probably next Monday.
See you Monday, and happy Canada Day, you guys.
Happy Canada Day.
All right, guys, fantastic stuff. As always, make sure you join. Actually, this Friday we won't be here. Happy July 4th. Premature one anyways, guys. Let's take a look at some of the some call activity, some of the options activity from Friday's session. We're going to kick things off, guys, with multiple names here. USO at the top of our list. We're going to be looking at that $115 strike price. This is an out-of-the-money call. Now, our open interest sitting around 4,700 at that specific level. That could be a potential resistance zone. But then I also want us to take into consideration, unlike equities, this may not be the same kind of narrative when you are using open interest. I just wanted to point these levels out. We're going to actually be talking about USO to the downside as well on some put activity momentarily. But first things first, 558 contracts open and closed on Friday's session. Now, as for the SPY, guys, this $735 marker, this is going to be the most that I've seen on this expiration cycle. That's going to be the 30th of this month. So we have 5,140 contracts still open at that level. And then on Friday, we had 8,350 open and closed. Now, as for the NASDAQ, guys, 5,400 contracts at that 725 marker, but this is going to be expiring next month on the 2nd. Now, as for the volume, 4,000 open and closed on Friday's session. Moving forward, we're going to be looking at USO once again, this $110 marker. There's a lot of open interest there, guys. Going to be expiring July 2nd. 17,000 contracts at that specific zone. Volume relatively light, but this is the most amount of open interest that I've seen on the put activity through multiple expiration cycles. 2,000 contracts open and closed on Friday's session. Now, as for Apple, another name that we are talking down double digits here, just holding on to a 10% to the downside here from Apple off of the highs. This $270 strike price on the put side, that is, there's nothing really outstanding. This is the largest amount of OI and volume combination. Now, I would be expecting to see a little bit more because it typically is in the top 5 names from volume standpoint, but a lot of activity is on the call side. What we're looking here is for potential support levels. Now, at that $270 strike price, 3,350 contracts still open at that level. That could change after the open. Now, as for volume, 1,620, nothing substantial. Now, SpaceX, the $135 strike price, we're not there just yet, but 8,490 contracts at that specific level with 5,600 open and closed. Once again, this is a near dated expiration cycle. This is going to be expiring on the 2nd of July. Moving forward, we're going to take a look at Micron, this $300, quite a ways away, I understand that. But anyways, what we really want to focus on here, guys, is just the value of this specific contract, okay? $4,600 and $4,200. The delta is just absolutely through the roof, and your gamma exposure relatively light. That will change. Never mind that. But your at the money is 90. Your at the money IV is 96%. Okay, that's extremely elevated. I understand that we're looking at a contract. There's like this metric doesn't even really make sense at this point. I just wanted to point out the volume and the actual size between the bid and the ask. So $400 spread. Now, open interest, we're sitting around 1,710 at that level, and then 4,800 contracts open and closed on Friday. All right. Moving forward, we'll take a look at some of the analyst actions. We're going to go through some market downgrades here at the top of the list. Now, going from a buy to a neutral is Salesforce. Philips Securities giving them the downgrade here, guys. Still holding on to positivity. We're up about 0.9%. Adobe getting the downgrade as well, too. Going from a buy to a neutral with a $203 price target. That's down from $385. Both the downgrades from Philip. Now, CrowdStrike also getting the downgrade here, guys. 2% to the top side, going from a buy to a neutral with a $730 price target. And then Synaptics also getting the downgrade, guys, going from a buy to a hold with a $125 price target. Now, to look at some more positive things, we have STM Microelectronics, a European company. Now, we're going from underweight to equal weight with a 65 euro price target. That's up from 34 euros. And then Warner Brothers also getting the nod bright and early this morning, going from a neutral to a buy. Again, this is going to be a buyout with a $31 price target. WBD slightly negative this morning. Roblox up 4.3%, going from a neutral to a buy, and a price target increase to $95. That's up from $75. And then United Rentals, for all my construction guys out there, 1.5% to the top side, going from a neutral weight to an outperform with a $1,320 price target. Let's send it back to Sean.
There we go. I also, good upgrades and downgrades there. I also want to look at a stock there because what Michael's talking about there, a little bit of a rotation. I don't know if you guys remember, we've been talking about J&J. We bought some in the low 220s. It's 250 and broke through. So there we go. Like, you want to talk about the XPI. XPI is another spot where I think there's a lot of value. Right now, you had some deal making, and we talked about Synaptics, which was the ON Semiconductors, and we saw what that did over the last little while. But it was AbbVie with a nice purchase 2 weeks ago that really started to rally the XPI, right? Talking about buyouts and things like that, and potentially starting to rally some spots other than tech, right? And there goes XPI. So we're really happy to be involved in that. When I look over at the portfolio, obviously I'm still hella long in tech, but that J&J run, and put your hand up. Like, if you guys have been here the last couple of weeks, I was talking about Johnson & Johnson. Not only did I talk about the valuation was pretty cheap, also, it sort of sat out the rally there and went the other way. Thought that there was a move to the upside there. Decent portfolio coming for Johnson & Johnson as far as drugs are concerned and what they have coming in the pipeline. So I like J&J there, and we were talking about it down here. So it's been a good little run there. I'm not getting out of any of it for sure. I just think it's a good hold, and add to your portfolio when you see some stocks dipping is what I was doing. But CrowdStrike was an interesting name that I thought was actually on your downgrade side there, yeah. CrowdStrike, but still up 1%, man. I mean, I like that stock. They've sort of weathered the storm, in my opinion. Huge move up on earnings, huge move up on Palo Alto earnings. They all sort of went to the upside and then came screaming right back down, but they actually held out pretty good. They didn't even really test this 50-period moving average. So now you're starting to go back up to the upside. And when you get downgraded and you're still up 1% and besting the market, I like this stock. I like it breaking through 720, 715 right here. CrowdStrike looks like it wants to go. And before I do that, I want to look at Palo Alto. Wasn't that down to 280? Now it's back up to 307. So again, another good rebound there. Yeah, 280, 260, sorry. So another great rebound there for Palo Alto. And actually, I'm sort of surprised that it's over now its highs in Pan W, right? I was expecting CrowdStrike and them to sort of act together, but it looks like Palo Alto right here. In an ever-changing world where we have to worry now about cybersecurity, I mean, we've had to worry about that for a while. These are the right names. Yeah. We've seen the drone attacks happen. What's next, right? I mean, I think cyber, you want to protect all your data. And we talk about how important some of that is, right? And so I like Palo Alto. And then, the worst one, Zscaler, ZS, has been really beat up. They were kicked. Wasn't it Zscaler was kicked out of the NASDAQ 100, I believe it was, unless it was another name. But there it is down to the 120, 125 area. And that was a good, I always think sometimes when you get that NASDAQ delist and the company is still, in the right space. Yeah. Maybe that's a little bit of a.
I mean, this stock's down 60%, even more, like 75%. we were talking about CrowdStrike not too long ago being down. That stock was almost cut in half.
Right.
Down 40% plus off of those highs when we were going through SaaSmageddon. They're fortunate enough to find a big time recovery. I just think it was too soon and too quick to throw these guys out of the gate, right? Like you couldn't kick them to the curb that quick. Cybersecurity is huge, especially during this whole AI build out and this complete new infrastructure that's being established. You're going to drop your cybersecurity. I didn't think that was the right play. And Sean was talking about, we have Facebook up here, but I mean, Sean was talking about Zscaler. I don't know. I think there's a point. I don't know, Sean, how you feel about this. I think at some point within a stock, there may be a point of no return. Like here's 61% to the downside, right?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we're talking about Salesforce, CRM. I don't know if you can ever come back. I don't know if you can ever, as Tiger King once said, what's that? Joe Exotic once said, I don't know if you'll ever financially recover from that. And it's the same thing here.
Wait a minute, we just quoted Joe Exotic?
Yeah, you remember when one of his employees got his finger bit off or his arm bit off?
I did watch Tiger King.
Yeah.
I don't remember a financial quote from this guy.
Yeah, well, that's what he stated. One of his employees got a limb chewed off by a tiger.
Okay.
And he just stayed. He's like, man, what the hell was more worried about financially recovering from this situation.
That's the context of that quote?
Yeah,
I didn't know what it to do with like a tiger eating a limb.
Yeah. So the tiger got a hold of one of the employees' limbs, and he's just the first thing he thought of was, I'll never financially recover from that. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know if it's necessarily the case within some of these names, but I think within some of them, you're going to have a point of no return. Now, could I be completely wrong? And have we seen stocks get absolutely destroyed before? 100%. Of course we have. Have they recovered? Yeah, look at Robinhood after the IPO date, and look at some of these IPOs. And I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but there was a time of pain that was just like, I don't know, is this thing going to do what I think it's going to? Like, you lose 90% of your value going from $80-something to $7.21. You don't think the stock's going to recover, especially if you're buying this in 2021. Now, can Mark Benioff recover and save Salesforce? Hopefully. Can whoever the CEO of Zscaler is turn things around, especially when its peers within the sector itself are just around all-time highs or a couple percentage points? I don't know. It makes things a lot more difficult, but hey, if you put yourself in the right place at the right time and in the right names, hopefully you don't have to go through these 60%, 40% drawdowns. But even so, it looks like you go through them in a couple of the names anyways.
We have
there's a bunch of super chats.
Yeah, we missed a couple super chats here. I'll just go with the most recent one here and send this to you. So
it's this one. I didn't party at all
Not
this
at all.
weekend,
Okay.
man.
So we'll clear that one. Thank you so much. All right, this one from Tisha just came through as well. $20. Thank you, Tisha. UPC curl for the win. So we can. Joe pounding back the water. Seems like you might have partied a lot this week.
Oh, just hydration nation, man.
Hey, we have something.
Dude, you want to know the honest truth?
For that.
I had I like these non-alcoholic beers, man. They're good. They're good stuff.
Isn't that so? I have a funny story about that because this weekend, some guys that we were chilling with, they didn't have the beers, but they were talking about it and said that the taste of those has gotten way better.
It's way better, dude.
So what is the brand that you like?
There's this one. It's like something arts. It's a Toronto-based brewery, and then I had a couple of the Heineken Zeros, the Heineken Zeros.
So, I don't mind. Obviously, the taste of beer, but
I enjoy it.
I drink it. I mean, I drink it because there's alcohol in it.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if I could ever taste.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
I enjoy the taste
and
of it.
it's very similar to.
It's not.
Is it a light beer?
But see, that's the thing. I feel like it gives you the taste of it loses its carbonation relatively quick, right? So it gives you the taste of. I know Americans are big on light beer, and I apologize for that. But anyways. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like a super light beer, and I enjoy it. There's 0%, 0.01.
So this is Universal Pharmaceuticals there, Tisha. So just having a quick look at this name, and thank you for the super chat there. It also says she remembers when Neil was trading small cap stocks. on there. But here goes UPC right now, and just trying to look up what this stock is all about right now. Universal Pharma, relatively low float name, I guess. The float is 600,000 shares. You know, it doesn't look like it has a big short percentage, but that's probably wrong. So UPC there. On some news, let's find out. On Friday, they were starting to jump around as well. Company announced it will acquire Best Praise International. So they're making some moves right here. Comcast has nothing to do with it. So I'm not sure the exact story here today with UPC, Tisha, but we'll find that. There it is, Universal Pharmaceuticals. Disclosing that it will acquire Best Praise International. So that's what we were talking about. So there it goes to the upside today. UPC putting on some damage there. And if you sort of zoom out, yeah, man, this is what happens with pharmaceuticals. Looks like things are going well for them. And there it goes, breaking through that $8 mark. Looks like that was just what spiked it. We obviously get that move on Friday. Then there's a continued move today for UPC. So thanks for that 20. And I remember when Neil used to trade those as well. I kind of wish he got back to it. I feel like now he just kind of trades the same stuff I'm looking at. But hey, man, that's to each their own. But there it goes. We do have small cap names coming. Joe and I will look at all the opportunities, as we all do, every single day. I mean, let's not just throw shade there. Because
Mike, how many times is Mike Peter Ryder going to
What else did Mike Peter? Okay, we got, we're not doing that one.
He's done it twice.
He wants to know the sexual preferences of space. Yeah. So I don't really know what that means. I'm not sure what's going on there. That was that one. And then here we go. On the Rails sent one as well. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to go back over there soon. We're going to do our rundown and get that all going. Our watch list again. One of the best curated watch lists in the business. Go grab that link in description right now. All the members also get Sharif's morning note. All right, if you look back historically and see Nvidia is around the 37 RSI, you'll usually see a 10% bounce within 2 weeks. So I'll have to call up the RSI to help show you that. But I guess that you're talking, I don't have it on my daily chart. I'll have to just load it up there. But for right now, I mean, this is what Nvidia looks like. Hey, you know what? I can add it right here. Customization indicators.
What are you looking for, percentage?
Do you have the RSI?
The relative
it just takes
strength?
Me a second.
I could pull that up.
So I'll just go into create. Well, I have it right here. RSI. Is this alphabetical? There it is. Relative strength indicator. You put it on there. I'm going to push apply. And then we're going to see. So here it is down here. This is the RSI. And that's exactly where it's at. So it's at the 37 spot, right? And if you sort of zoom, maybe I can hold this a little higher so everybody can see what this is. So relative strength, it's when it's overbought versus oversold. That's really all that it's saying to you. It's that, you know, it's gotten over its sort of britches up here. Yeah. It's overextending, right? And if you looked at, that's the top. That seems to have been the top in the market, right? RSI is more of a back indicator, I would think. Like whenever you're going to see RSI spike higher, it's because the move sort of happened and then stopped and then went back to the ends. I can show you a stock where the RSI was holding above and just kept on extending, and you don't necessarily want to.
It'll probably be that for AMD. What's it looking like on AMD?
Well, we can look at AMD in a second, but there's the bounce. So just to talk about, why did my chart just reset there? I do not know. But there's the bounce from 37, I guess is what you're talking about there on the rails. So maybe we do have time to start to buy. This is pretty much the lowest on the RSI, the relative strength it's been that I can see here going back 2 years. This is 25, so going back to June of 25. So you're back about a year right here. And it's the lowest the RSI has been. So you want to look quickly at AMD? Sure. Let's check out AMD.
Let's see what that RSI is.
Well, you know what would be a crazy one would have been Intel.
Yeah.
Chart. Yeah, so I mean, right now it's fine. It's not. You get the RSI starts to blow up, Joe, once there's the huge moves happening. So it would have been like right into here, right? When we went from, like, what was this price? 170 up to 500. Yeah. So RSI up there into the 90s. So it's not always that the 70 marker or the 30 marker are indications to go long or short. But I think it's kind of like once you break back down below, that's when you start to lose some of the relative strength. And, you know, another one that we could look at here would be Intel. I think that would have had a very similar RSI up to the 80s or 90s, most likely, once they had that huge move. Yeah, there was 95. And, you know, look at them coming back in. So at some point, you know, they're going to have been too. Oh man, this chart is just keeps on resetting down there. Just is going to get bought up, right? So this looks very similar to that Nvidia chart where you had an RSI bounce in and around that 40 marker, not even getting to 30s. So yeah, no, you're looking for some relative strength and weakness there. But thank you so much for that super chat.
Did we? I know we're running into we're kind of into some rundown time. But did we go over WMC Good Tunes 824 super chat. We'll do that quick before we send it back. What are your take on GME forward guidance that dropped AH on Friday? Seems like something that would be a major move. Regardless of eBay offer, they have a $2 billion buyback on the table as well. So we can pull up GME. Listen, if the street doesn't react, it's tough. Don't hold a bias within an earnings report. I used to do that myself. Well, they guided this. They did all of this. They beat on EPS. They're doing share buyback, and the stock market doesn't react. React to how the stock market and how the stock itself reacts, okay? Now, Ryan Cohen is actually putting up numbers that I didn't think he'd have the ability to do so. And I was actually on Kalshi not too long ago, last Thursday, Sean, and there's actually a bet that you can place to see if this eBay GME deal is going to go through. And you know what? The betting markets, these prediction markets, are leaning towards it's most likely not going to happen. eBay being the bigger company, so Ryan Cohen, even though he's talking half cash, half stock, might be in a little bit of trouble. React how the stock reacts, not to what the numbers are telling you, because it doesn't care. The market's going to do what it wants to, and the bigger participants are going to be able to control the actual underlying itself. Now, we're 5 minutes over. I guess we can send it back. We can head through our rundown now.
It is, in fact, going to be time to do that rundown. It's funny you mentioned, too, here, Joe, half cash, half stock, because Rocket Lab actually, with this half cash, half stock Iridium deal, we'll probably talk about that in a minute as we talk SpaceX.
Thank you.
But in the meantime, we're going to start here with our rundown.
That's better.
And a look at the futures.
7:29 on the dot, guys. This is where we closed out yesterday on the SPY. We're above that right now. If we go to the chart, 740 is what we're going to look at as resistance. So we did reject, we did fail to hold that 730 on a closing basis. But when you look at the 4-hour chart, very, very close to holding up that 730. So we're going to continue to use 730 as support. If we start moving up for whatever reason, 740 as resistance.
Let's take a look here at the Trader TV rundown. This happens every day at 9 a.m. or around 9 a.m. So stick with us. And it's from our free Trader TV Live Watchlist, which comes right to your inbox before 8 a.m. every single day. It has everything you need to know about earnings on watch, economic data on watch, companies that are making moves or that could be making big moves, that have events on watch. Basically, it's your one-stop shop for market information. Now, at the top of this watch list today was SpaceX, SPCX, and Focus. They're going to be joining the NASDAQ as of July 7th, so just over a week from now.
Yeah, Grok 4.5, guys, has entered private beta testing inside SpaceX and Tesla. So Elon using his own companies for the testing here. It's a major tactical escalation for XAI. The hype here is that it exceeds Anthropic Opus, Claude Opus in certain respects, specifically with coding. Something to look out for there. Grok 4.5, yes, is optimized for code, and that isn't by accident. SpaceX picked up Cursor for $60 billion, and right away they directly injected Cursor's real-world multi-turn developer interaction right into Grok 4.5 in the training to kind of explicitly master the agentic AI parts of this whole stack. And to force Grok 4.5 past its rivals, Musk executed what people are calling a ruthless internal talent diversion. What am I talking about here? Well, he quietly reassigned what people are saying are a few dozen of the elite Starship and Starlink hardware and data engineers. They're abandoning their aerospace. Pursuits, and they're working directly to overhaul Grok. Also, Grok's 4.5 is the first model optimized for Grok build harness. This is XAI's proprietary reinforcement learning pipeline. Listen to this, guys. So the model's closed here. So what it does is it forces Grok to write code. It then executes it inside a virtual container. It checks its own output, and then it self-corrects bugs as it finds them. So this is a new development here, and I haven't heard any LLMs do this before.
And again, it will be also joining the NASDAQ 100 index. Cannot stress this enough. It'll actually be less than a month after the company went public is when it'll join the NASDAQ. We can briefly talk here as well, too, Sharif, about Rocket Lab, another name in the space sector that's getting a lot of love in our chat today. It
really does deserve its own story, Adara, because this is a really big headline here. It's not the acquisition that's headline moving. It's the reason for the acquisition. $8 billion cash and stock acquisitions of Iridium Communications. That is ticker IRDM for those interested. And it mimics here the express vertical integration push that SpaceX has been kind of doing for years. That's what their purpose is here. So Rocket Labs, they're using their own stock to fund a deal, but there is a lot of debt buried here to cover the $27 per share cash component, because $54 buyout price, but it's half stock, half cash. So $27 cash component. They're taking on Adair at $3.6 billion in a bridge financing facility, and servicing that debt at a higher interest rate will eat into the cash reserves of this company for the foreseeable future. But the real reason that they're picking this up, by the way, is the 66 satellite constellation that they have. Now, the problem with this constellation is it's aging. It was put into space 2017 to 2019 with a lifeline of 12 to 15 years. So you could be taking on aging assets. There's more to talk about. You guys can check the chat. I'll put some of these links in there for you. Very interesting story.
Are you guys watching any of these space stickers today, Rocket Lab and or SpaceX?
No, definitely not watching SpaceX. No, for sure watching both of those, actually.
Yeah.
I like that IRDM. That was something that I was looking at purchasing a while back, and I was trying to break out. But for me on SPCX, it is going to be, I'm just writing the sticky note as we speak right now, because we had some delays.
We had a lot going on.
We had a lot going on this morning, SPCX, so I'm just writing that down here. I wrote down 154 long or a 160 break. And the problem with this 154 long is it's actually coming in pretty aggressively here in the pre-market, and it's just coming right back into this level here where it looks like it's been somewhat of a, it was a problem breaking through it. Now that we did, I was going to try, instead of it being a top, maybe now it's a bottom and it can be resistance, turns into support. You also have the 153 there. This is a 5-minute chart. So you do have some support here that I feel like should be able to hold for SpaceX. Now, I don't want to sit there, open arms, willing just to buy all the 154s. I'm not sure if this is actually going to hold today. I thought we would be much higher with that inclusion. Forget about, I love the Grok story. That's, I'm starting to use Grok more. Talk about Grok is installed in the Teslas.
Yeah.
So you can just have random conversations and you can ask Tesla all these questions and they'll spit it right back to you as well. Obviously, we're not talking about that basic LLM. Sharif was talking about the coding side of it. And I think that that's the next sort of iteration. And I believe in Elon and get it all figured out. This might be the best LLM eventually. And the fact that SpaceX can use it to their advantage and has full capabilities and usage of it because it's part of the same ecosystem.
Yeah.
I like SpaceX. And I also thought that, it being added to the NASDAQ 100 does give it a little bit of a base that we should be able to hold this 148. Obviously, we're all waiting to see if that 135 ever comes into play. But I think we've been right trying to buy the dips into 150 there. And I also do like the break of 160. So we talked about that, being a top there. So I thought this market would open up. We'd be around 157, 158, something like that. Then the break of 160 is imminent, and we take that long. So now we've sort of got to wait for any sort of a imbalance that hits for SpaceX. Maybe we do get an upside move right there. But as opposed to Rocket Lab, I like this Iridium Communications. And, just talking about, and it's interesting that they got their assets with Rocket Lab, as we just discussed, bought out a little bit there. And that's sweet. That's part of what you're talking about. They were getting beat up. A lot of these space names were getting hit after the SpaceX IPO, and IRDM just right back up to the top here. As look, the components in space have to matter as well, right? And so we'll wait to see what happens with IRDM, but I like that stock getting higher here, breaking through. I think pullbacks, into the 40s is great. You might not get that opportunity today. High of 55. I think we can break 55 today on IRDM, but I'm much more concerned, and I'm just about to push enter, man, just making some tweaks to it on the sticky notes. SpaceX is my number one idea, breaking long 160 or long 154, but either way, they're both longs. But I did pay for shorts.
On SpaceX?
So we're going to pay for shorts on SpaceX, and we're going to see what happens.
You know what? I'm short-term bearish in this name. Considering, right, like you have the IPO, you have 3 up, 3 down, and now you're starting to form a consolidation. We talk about the TAM on space within the company in itself, where the majority of the revenues can potentially flow from. That's going to be data centers. It's not yet space. You obviously have Starlink involved, but I think there's going to be some more short-term downside. we're fortunate enough to start to get some earnings reports within this company, and that's going to be a massive teller. Are we still bleeding immense amounts of money? And the street may not like that. We're going to remain forward-looking within SpaceX. We're talking about the options chain on this name as well, too, to see where there's a potential floor. I was looking at 135. I think we can most definitely fall into that neck of the woods because I would have believed buyers would step in at this point, right? Like, we've already had a couple of weeks of sessions here within this name specifically, and now we're in that downtrend. We're consolidating. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a pullback. And I mean, 135 is nothing substantial, right? Like, that's from where we're currently trading at right now. Let's see, let's get an exact percentage metric to 135. That's another 13%. Like, I get it, it's double digits, but what have we seen from previous IPOs is that they, with the exception of a few, the majority of them are selling off and getting hit pretty heavy. Now, you're going to have the people who are believers within the companies that Elon has within SpaceX itself. I'm going to be looking at this almost as an ETF at some point as well. But 13%, I think that's going to be a good opportunity to grab a little bit more here at 135. I actually have orders placed out at 125 on this one. I grabbed the 180s, I grabbed the 170s, and then I knew that we were going to hit that opening price of 150. So I'm like, let me drop it a little bit lower. And if the underlying asset actually turns around, I'll buy it. But at this point, I'm going to let things cool off, wait for some earnings reports to come out. Let's talk some crypto.
Let's talk some crypto. As we know, Sean mentioned it, Joe mentioned it, the chat mentioned it. There was a big move here around 8 a.m. in Bitcoin. A lot of that has to do with this announcement from MSTR. Some board authorizations here and new minimum USD reserve policy.
Yes, they're calling it the Digital Credit Capital Framework. That's the term the company is using there. It includes a buyback program of $1 billion for its Class A common shares. But more importantly here, are the $1 billion for its preferred securities, because you wait until you guys see the interest rates that they're paying on this preferred securities, which was his whole setup. This is why people were worried about it. But let's talk about the change in approach here. Firstly, for years, MicroStrategy or Strategy, whatever you want to call them, aggressively printed new equity and debt to acquire Bitcoin without selling. This framework, this new framework that we're talking about this morning, marks an official corporate pivot towards what their company is calling now a flexible two-way capital management model, and it formally introduces active Bitcoin monetization program to defend the equity price. That's why he's doing the share buybacks, because the equity price has fallen off a cliff over here. But the real target of the $2 billion framework, let's get to that. So Microsoft has the specialized, what they're calling strike preferred stocks. That's STRK. That's the ticker, STRK. They've been collapsing, bleeding 11% in the last trading day, and it's sitting, at least at the time of the writing of this article, it's probably bouncing now, at its 52-week lows, right? So it's saddled with a massive near distress 14.87% interest rate it is having to pay because it's declined so much. Dividend yield footprint, that's what it's called. The company is rushing this $1 billion chunk of the buyback mandate specifically to retire these expensive preferred shares and wipe out kind of that crushing annual dividend that they have to pay. 14.87% Adara. That's heavy.
Do you guys have a strategy for trading Bitcoin today?
Buying share buybacks.
Not really. Like I was, he's just explaining that whole strategy to me here because I wasn't aware of. I saw, you mentioned Microsoft. They had a huge day. They had 6% update there on Friday. I just wanted to, we will go over it. We do have another super chat that just came out right there, and it was from Cheese in a Chair. So I'm going to say thank you to Cheese in a Chair right now. And he's talking right here. Spent the weekend in your lad wondering why you didn't buy KXIAY. So what exactly is KXIAY? This is a spinoff from, so they're the third largest player in the memory, NAND memory space right there. Spun off from Toshiba in 2018. A huge move to the high side. And I think you're right. Like when we started talking about memory there, you know, Micron was going and SanDisk and WDC and all that. This is just another name, a Japanese name coming through there, trading on the pink sheet. So the OTC markets right now. So decent liquidity, expecting a listing in spring of 27 into the US main markets there. So we'll have to see what winds up happening with that. But 52-week range of a low of $4, a high of $70. PE ratio well over 100 as this name just keeps on extending through. But yeah, I wish we had that time machine also. I don't know if I would buy some KXAIA. What I might actually buy if I had a time machine might be Bitcoin, because then I would just go back and buy this thing 20 years ago, and then you and I both wouldn't be here. I would give you about 100 Bitcoin right now, and it'd be no problem.
Exactly.
Because I would have just bought that for $100 back then.
I would have bought it when it was like a pen. It was like, what did it come out at?
That's what I'm saying. You buy $1. I mean, it was there for $1, $2 for a while.
Something like that.
Joe, even if I told you I could give you Bitcoin right now long at $1,000, you'd take that, right? So it's
absolutely.
It's a big move there for Bitcoin. But for MSTR, look, I mean, we always talk about the noise that exists in this name, right? And I think that it's just had its problems. And we all knew that it was a financial sort of house of cards. And eventually, once Bitcoin unraveled, and I know there's still a lot of traders that believe, well, maybe there's not a lot anymore, Joe, but there are traders that still believe Bitcoin can bounce. I don't know if I'm one of them. Fortunately enough, you know, I maybe own a little bit more than half of Bitcoin, something like that, you know, in total holdings, maybe a little bit more. Not too much in Ethereum, and, you know, we still have some Cardano and some Ripple and Solana. So we're still holding all these shit coins. But at the end of the day, the movement's been down, and it's been pretty violent, right? I mean, this is from May, is 190. You're down to $87. So you're chopped in more than half right now in just 2 months. So I'm a little nervous about where we're going from here. Up 6% is nice. You know, looking at a daily chart here, 1 minute, I like the 85 level. That should be able to hold there for MSTR and MicroStrategy. So a pullback into 85 is worth it. But you've seen, are you going to talk about IBIT? No.
I was going to talk about what Sharif was mentioning here, how Strategy's plan is to be essentially a digital credit lender. But what he does is he's selling his preferred shares. Once that hits a certain threshold, he sells them, he issues, he sells them, and then he buys Bitcoin with it. Now, a lot of funds classifying this as financial gibberish, and in potential, what Katina Man was saying, a house of cards. It's very, very risky. But the question for me within Bitcoin is, has anything structurally changed? And I'm going to say no. Has sentiment changed? Absolutely. And that is key driver, right? Like, we're down 60% off of the all-time highs in Bitcoin. Now, it's not very attractive to some individuals, but don't forget, for every buyer, there's a seller. So someone's chewing this stuff up, and we're in the middle of a halving cycle. Now, am I going to say we're going to climb back to all-time highs? Can things change? Can it go down to 20, 30,000? Well, we've experienced 70 to 80% pullbacks before, so I'm not surprised. But the thing is, with MicroStrategy, this is supposed to be acting as a leverage play. But with Bitcoin not doing anything and not performing well in the middle of a halving cycle, obviously it's not good. You're down 80%, and I talk about a point of no return. Are we there? But don't forget, there's no specific leverage aspect, a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1 within MSTR. Just look at it as a leverage play. And if Bitcoin does start to recover, maybe late next year or closer to the next halving cycle, then you can see a big time change within MSTR sentiment. But as of right now, you also have to take into consideration some of the larger Bitcoin mining companies, the Marathon Digitals, the Riots, are doing a little bit of a strategic pivot getting into cloud computing. So, I mean, there is a big time sentiment shift within this space itself. But let's give it a little bit more time to see what happens. Let's send it back. We're going to talk some Palantir and NVDA.
Yeah, right now, we're going to take the time to talk about PLTR. Again, we mentioned it earlier, but this name has consistently been one of the most mentioned names in our chat all morning. So worth noting again, Palantir with not one, but 2 deals this morning, Sharif.
Yeah, Dara. Well, it had a hell of a year last year, so it's fresh in people's minds still. Debuting today, a secure government AI engine alongside the monster Nvidia, and it's also expanding its software suite commercialization with Surf Air Mobility. Let's cover the Nvidia part of this. So it's a you know, a lot of the reports that I read this morning is they're announcing sort of this generic model team or team up, I should say, between the two companies. But that's not exactly what's happening here. Palantir built a very highly specific, what they're calling an intelligent engine to run NVIDIA's Nemotron. Remember Nemotron? We said very little about it aside from the headline story when they debuted a few months ago. It's completely isolated in what they're calling air-gapped environments. Not really sure what that is quite yet. The architecture, though, is specifically and explicitly designed to bypass federal cloud vulnerabilities, and that gives U.S. national security agencies what they're calling full model auditability and the right to erasure without any leaks to public external networks. So good look there, especially for secret and classified documents with respect to the Surf Air Mobility headline. It should be noted here, aside from the tie-up between the two companies, that Surf Air issued, SRFM is the ticker, by the way, more than 4.7 million shares of common stock directly to Palantir, and that kind of takes gives Palantir a non-cash equity consideration in exchange for licensing the Foundry AIP to Surf Air Mobility.
Palantir guys, thoughts?
Yeah, so thoughts are pretty good. Thoughts have been pretty good on Palantir the last couple of days, but I mean, they've been pretty bad for the last month or so, right? So I think Palantir continues to have its issues. I do like the fact that we're talking about government contracts now. We really, really like Palantir for that reason. And they've sort of made that footprint into the United States government and other governments, including those of Israel and all across the world, right? Many European countries as well using Palantir. They're also a play on border security as well, immigration, and it's just that Foundry has been locked in now. So I think that Palantir does have a runway to get back to the upside. I've been not unloading anytime recently, but we had been unloading back, I guess, beginning of the year, maybe once we failed right there. I think we might have got something out around 150, 160. Don't necessarily want to buy it back yet, PLTR, but I do like the story today, and I think that we may have seen a little bit of a bottom there at 110. I think that's might have another magnet down there. Like I wrote down long TQs today, but the market's not really, this is the ES coming back into the downside. The NASDAQ's also right now crumbling just a bit here. And I'm a little worried about, a name like Palantir up 4%. And this is what just came out. Yeah. We had IBIT to the downside there. So you're starting to see a little bit of a wash there happening as these imbalances come out. Then sell on the NASDAQ as well. Just hit with the TQs, right? Oracle with a small buy. SpaceX with a small buy. So there's the bump in SpaceX they're looking for. We wrote down 154 long, right? That got down to 155. But if we're going to talk about PLTR, the headlines don't seem to matter, and I'll tell you why. Because President Trump literally dropped this ticker during one of his conferences, when he was asked about it. Or asked about, I think it was about the market or about, the technology that they were using.
Well, I was going to say it was even more blatant than that. He put the ticker in a Truce Social post and then said, Palantir is doing so well. So
right. So, and I mean, he put that out there, and then Palantir's at the lows. So I don't know how well they're doing right now. Did that seem like a little bit of desperation? I remember kind of when the CrowdStrike guy asked, Claude and all these LLMs about like, hey man, like, is my business over with? Or like, not that exactly, but can you replicate CrowdStrike software? So Trump saying that should have kind of rallied the stock, and it really didn't. So, maybe now you're coming into some levels. It just sucks because that's May of 25. So you're all the way back 1 year. If you held the stock for the full year, you went up to all-time highs. Now you're right back into some support areas. So coming back in through here, 110 or so for Palantir. I like the stock. Did we just go, did we just go zeros on the day? That was a bad wick. So 117, I would say, hey man, I don't think we're going to fall down here, but watch out for a 116 bid maybe on PLTR. There's only 3 minutes to go. I mean, so we could go back over and talk Comcast.
Yeah, we could go over and talk Comcast. I mean,
or do you want to look at Nvidia?
Well, I mean, we could look at NVDA. The partnership is more of a needle mover for Palantir in itself than what it is. Europe, not even 1% in NVDA. Combining the two systems, you're going to be able to use the best of the best LLMs and just really maximize everything. That's the whole point for the government, is to see if they can extract everything they possibly can. And that's the new movement, right? Like, you're talking about autonomous warfare and just really, really organizing mass amounts of data. These two combining with each other is doing exactly that. We'll head back. We'll talk CMCSA spinoff, Comcast.
Yeah, let's talk here about CMCSA, if I can pull up this chart. Good news here for Comcast, a spinoff in focus and a big gap up for the same and a couple others in the sector.
Oh. Yeah, Derek, Charter as well, as you mentioned there. It's also ripping up cable company. Let's talk about this. They announced it will separate its connectivity business from NBC Universal in a tax-free spinoff, creating two independently traded public companies. The move designed to give each business their greater strategic flexibility as traditional media companies, of course, face intense pressure from streaming. Their shareholders are going to receive shares in both companies. Comcast will temporarily retain about a 19.9%, give or take 20% stake in NBC Universal. Leadership will also be split at the tail of the two Michaels over here. You got Mike Cavanaugh, he's going to be CEO of NBC Universal. Then Michael Angelikis, he's going to be at Comcast. We'll see about that. Should we talk a little Amazon, Adara?
Yeah, let's talk about AMZN. Prime Day is over, and some of the results according to these analysts are here.
All-time highs for sales, Adara, $26.4 billion, but not because they were selling more in terms of dollar amount. They had a lot of cuts. People worried about the consumer.
Yeah, and that $26.4 billion, again, according to Adobe Analytics, across all U.S. sellers and not specifically Amazon. So maybe not a great look for AMZN today for those prime deals. Are you guys primed to look at Amazon and or Comcast as we wait that opening bell?
Been too busy. Thanks, Adara. I don't know if I've been too busy, but I didn't buy one damn thing on Amazon.
That's good, man. That's good. Well, you should have got the discount.
Toothpaste. I bought some toothpaste, but I didn't buy anything.
Bro, you ordered toothpaste off of Amazon?
Yeah, you know why? Because I brought the toothpaste to. Yeah, of course. What do you mean? I get deodorant off there and everything.
Really?
Yeah. Well, if my wife goes to Costco and there's.
So you're a Prime member, so you don't have delivery fee.
Of course.
Okay.
Come on,
all right. Okay, boy.
Yeah, man. I mean, everyone's a Prime. You're not a Prime member?
No, man. I'm not a consumer like that. I get what I need.
Right. You don't have a family.
Right?
Like, you don't have
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me personally, I can
that.
walk across the street and go to the Dollarama because you're getting the same thing that you would at Shoppers Drug Mart or the Metros for a fraction of the price.
But you actually got to do that. You actually got to go there, though.
Yeah, so I can walk there, man, and you get some exercise.
Oh, I'm all about that,
but
I think the Prime is such a, there's many advantages to it, but I do think that Amazon here just been hit. I like this. This is one of the bigger mega cap names, one of the better mega cap names that I think has a good runway to the upside. And it's just been getting hit right now. Okay, we're about to open up. Thank you to everybody for your patience today, as we did have some technical issues. I think we should be good to go. Andre, just test my ear quickly again, so I know. Yeah, perfect. I hear you. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So here goes SpaceX 157. I feel like this will be one of the very first trades that I'm going to be in today. Will be SpaceX. Well, okay. Shoot. Sorry about that. Here it comes, trying to break. I don't have my. We do have a little bit of quote issues first thing in the morning, so I can't even switch symbols right now. Were you guys experiencing that on Friday?
Yeah, it would freeze a little bit here and there.
So right now I'm waiting to get this SpaceX trade going. If it does break 160, I like it. But look what's happening with the NASDAQ right now. Kaboom to the downside right now goes NASDAQ. So I'm going to put in my bid, break through 160. We'll take it here on SpaceX, and we'll see what winds up happening. And it looks like it's trying to go. But there goes the NASDAQ to the downside. We don't want to necessarily buy immediately. I wrote down 73. We'll put a bid down there to 73, and then we'll give it a second to see what winds up happening if we do get a drip down into 173 on the NASDAQ. So, that's what I'm doing. Looks like SpaceX is going to try to go, man. I'm going to keep my eye on SpaceX, Joe.
Okay.
Come on, quotes. Michael, we're still having bad quote problems.
Big time.
Bad. Okay, I'll talk to you about it after. Okay, there goes 158, trying to break through 159 now on SPCX. So we're going to watch for a 160 break right now on SpaceX. I don't know if there's anything else going on, but that's what we've got right here. Obviously, there's lots going on, but right now
there's plenty going on, right? Like, I mean, think about it. We were up 1% here in NVDA. That was gone. You go actually negative now. It's starting to find somewhat of a recovery. We have the SPY starting to climb a little bit higher, guys. Oracle up 3.4%. There's multiple names. With that being said, I'm going to just be focusing on the overall market at this point. We'll give it a couple of opportunities. Why I didn't get to really put my list together. Had to be on the phone, making certain phone calls here with the boy. Obviously, Milo. So where are we going to find some signs of strength? A nice volume-weighted average price breakup right here, the break of 74.25. There goes SpaceX to 159.33. Now, is NVDA going to find somewhat of a recovery here? DRAM actually to the downside, Sean, breaking through some key support levels. I'm waiting for a pullback in the TQQQs, and then we're going to look to get involved in this name. We're starting to really head towards some at a fast pace towards some pre-market highs. If this breaks, then maybe we'll get some continuation. It's been a gap and go scenario so far, so let's be patient to see if it's going to be a trend up day.
All right, come on, let's go SpaceX. As soon as it goes through 160, we're going to be punching long onto that one. And, man, we nailed the TQs on a dip buy opportunity on the sticky note, but unfortunately, it doesn't get as low as we had hoped. But there is a nice washout early, as Joel was just talking about it. I'm just waiting for this one, man. There's the 160 break imminent. It just went down to 159. It's moving dollars at a time. This is the chart why we like the 160 move right there. So hopefully we can get that break. We have to be careful because it looks like they're on the 25th, which would have been, I guess, Wednesday. Thursday, sorry. I wasn't here. That's why I was surprised it broke. I didn't see this until I came in today. 161 was the top. So I think if we get a little piece at 160, we should put something out at 161. Hopefully we'll be able to get that fill for $1, and then we'll move off of that. And if I do get filled, man, I'm going to hold it until it breaks 156. Okay, back down to the downside. So we are waiting for $4. I'm only going to take half a unit, Joe, on the break. So it's not going to be a huge trade, but still one that we're looking forward to making there on SpaceX if and when that does happen. A lot of the talk early was, of course, on Palantir, and there that goes, right? So bounce off of, like, the 200 period just seems to be legit, man. I mean, every single day we look at this 200 period moving average and we say, why didn't we buy or whatever off of that level, right? So 116 coming into play there for PLTR, a good little drop down area there. We'll see if that winds up holding. But you know what? The NASDAQ ripping here, Palantir not. We got to find something that's either relatively weak or strong. The other name that I didn't have in was Intel. Oh, nice move. Intel, I wrote down 129 short. Now, that was the only short call that I was looking at here today. And yeah, man, that short call has came through like huge right now. That's been a 129. There it is right there. We wrote it down all the way down into 125 now. And Intel hit for a minute as we were looking at something that was relatively weak against a strong market. And there it is. It's Intel. So I think we can definitely have a pick on here with Intel, Joe. Like if we can get something short as I look at that, I need my 1 minute chart. They're 127 and change maybe. Did you use my e-signal when you were sitting here, buddy?
No, sir.
No, okay, that's fine. Sir, you don't have to call me that, of course.
Well, I mean, well, we have our own logins now. We have our own logins.
Yeah, no, right? I just noticed. I think one of my charts was moved, but it doesn't matter. It's not you. It's probably me. I'm looking at 127 now for a short on Intel. So let's wait to see if that comes back in. Yeah. And look at that, man. SpaceX on the dot again.
Look at NVDA go here, continue.
Down or up?
Up.
Okay, good. Because I was wondering if it was going opposite of Intel. But
we're NVDA. Don't forget, it did a split, guys, right? So we were talking about a $100 name here at this point, now $28. About to head through some pre-market high levels we are looking for, where I'm going to take the majority. Listen, full disclosure, I have no issue. We just grabbed a handful here. This is, from a share standpoint, nothing substantial, right? We're not going to write home. Obviously, the trade is working. Wish you had a little bit more size on it, but I just wanted to get a little bit of a starter here going here for everyone. So a good little uptick here. You're going to see you're north of 1% now on NVDA itself. You're going to catch 3% on the leverage product. This has been split a 3-to-1, it looks like at this point, Sean. So not too bad of a play. And a good little start here. We'll just add that up, and hopefully we can stack up a couple of small wins.
What do you think about Meta?
What do I think about Meta? Man, listen, it's one of my, I think it's like top 3 of my largest holdings. Okay. It's just unfortunate. Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's not. I'm not saying that's good. Monetization aspect, too much capital expenditure. We just really hope that this doesn't fall into another metaverse scenario for Mark Zuckerberg, right? Just no direction. Now he's getting into the prediction markets. I'm not going to classify this as a I'm not going to classify this as a needle mover whatsoever. Obviously, it's helped Robinhood and some of the other names who have been involved with it. You hop onto some other brokerages and you can see that they have prediction markets. You get the transaction fees, but is this going to solve all of the company's problems? In my opinion, no. It's that simple. But let's see if we can get this break. Like, there's a pretty hefty pullback there, Katina, man. A break and hold, but the NASDAQ starting to come back in. So we have yet to breach this 1 minute or the 5 minute candle high, but there's a big time indecision print. Where's all my VPA traders at Gorev? This isn't too bad, but with NVDA, you just get some really, really hefty pullbacks. There goes DRAM to the downside as well.
All right, I'm still not into anything. I was waiting for SpaceX to break. It looks like that 160, again, continues to be that top. So, yeah, I was going to play a pullback. If we had broke, I was going to try to buy around VWAP right now, but I'm not down for that. There was no break. So now you're just testing VWAP back here at 158 on SpaceX. Holy, why did I like Intel short so much? It wasn't even on our watch list. There was like nothing going on there. It was just relatively weak in the pre-market. And there goes Intel, man. See you later for INTC. And if you guys are looking for notes every single day, today I only wrote down 3 names on the sticky note. It was SpaceX long at 154. Maybe we're going to get that opportunity or a 160 break. That didn't hit. The TQ's at 73. So if that comes in, the NASDAQ's got to break back below the low of the day to get that trade. And then we do have Intel as well at 129 to 130 short. It doesn't look like we're we're able to get that as there goes Intel to the downside. I'm going to post up this sticky note right now and see if we can get some love here for INTC. But there it is. You guys can check that out in the chat as we go on. But that's Intel making moves lower right now. We can take a quick look at Nvidia. Let's also do something for our good friend Tisha over there and look at UPC as well, as that's going to be another name. And Nvidia is trying to pull back. Look at the NASDAQ right back into VWAP. Do we want to buy that or not? All right, there's UPC. I'm still going to look for some halters. So you guys let me know. JATT, another halter. Here's UPC. This is a second day continuation play. They're off of, I think they bought a company for $10 million, $10.75 million. But there it is, $9 up to $17. UPC up just 444% today. Shout out to Tisha and crew for making the best of this trade. It's UPC. It's down. It's upside for now. You guys want me to look at Tesla? We're going to go over to Adara just quickly on Tesla. 387. Nice move higher there too as well, man. Up 2% for TSLA. Adara, what you got back there?
What I've got here is a story on Occidental with some caveats. Here's a 3-minute chart here for OXY. The headline here says, Occidental Petroleum CEO makes the biggest insider buy in over 4 years. So it's worth noting the CEO is new and actually just started on June 1st of this year. So he's been in the role for less than a month. Regardless, Richard Jackson, new OXY CEO, purchased $25,000 worth of Oxy shares. OXY in focus. Also, of course, oil generally in focus here as the conflict between the U.S. and Iran, unfortunately, looks like it could be heating back up. Back to you.
Doesn't look like I'm getting heated up here on SpaceX. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for that. NVDA, yeah, OXY, good little look there. We can always check out Occidental. I mean, USO is not really doing too much. We always got that on the back burner as well. Look, NVIDIA's been pretty good. I just put a bid here at 193.50, hoping that that can hold. You know, if it does come in here, I don't want to give it too low. You know, it did go down during that market move, down into 191, 192. I think we can wait for 192.70s. So if that breaks, then that's when we get out. So let's go to 192.50 or so. I'm not going to give it that extra 50 cents. Let's see if it wants to hold that. We'll start the bidding here at 193.50 on NVIDIA, hoping for something there as well. As the NASDAQ's trying to bounce back up, I'm also waiting patiently, I think, for Intel to get to 127 again. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does come up to VWAP, I'm waiting for Intel 126.75. Maybe we actually got to lower that as well. I'm seeing ASMH halted right now, and I have to, ASMH. Yeah, what is this? ASMH, this is now halted. I think this is an ASML thing. I don't think this is anything. AZI halted. Again, man, this is, I apologize, guys. Some of these things aren't working out for me. Oh yeah, auto taxi. We still are having a little bit of software problems today. 4 million shares on AZI. That now halted there to the upside. For I guess it was a liquidity event, but AZ now halted right there, as you can see. AZI Auto Taxi there to the upside now halted as well, as that name looks like it's trying to do its best right now to get going. So AZI halted now. SpaceX doing nothing. Nvidia not giving me that long. Here's SpaceX, Joe. It just seems to be bouncing between $2 right now. 158 basically to 160. I'm still going long, man. If that breaks 160, I like the SpaceX long. I only crossing up to 160 25s. So hopefully that does get me in on some exuberance of a break there on SPCX. So people liking CRML as well here, critical metals, you know, a good opportunity there. Shout out to everybody that's there in the chat as well. AZI halted up. Okay, thank you, Tech Lion, for that news. Critical metals, I mean, again, another one of these names you can look at. The name that Lithium of America as well, MP Materials, something else to potentially take a look at. But yeah, right now, not much going on, man. I mean, the market's been pretty flattish. I don't ever want to say, I hate saying like not much going on, but it's about the stocks that you're looking at specifically,
Absolutely.
Right? You know, if you're looking at some hot names, obviously they're going to be dancing around. And if not, we've got to find the right ones.
Exactly. So there it is. We added a little bit more here, Katina, man. Just to get a little bit more of a feel here of what's going on. Now, what we have is a potential 3-bar play in the SPY and the NASDAQ. If we're strong here today, I think this breakup pattern can just definitely lead us through a break of this 195 marker here in NVDA. So this is exactly what I'm looking at. So what I did is I started really small. I actually tripled up my size on this one to see if we can get a break. And then there it goes. A nice strong break for us right there, Katina, man. All the way up to 28.44s. Let's see if this can hold and head up into 28.60s. This is what I'm talking about. So some momentum really starting to step into this bad boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take some off at that break of the pre-market high. And this is what we're talking about. 28.19. You're going to see my average slightly slightly move up. So let's rock and roll. I would love to get a little bit more on this one, but we also want to be smart and piece it out. That pattern that I was looking at held up. Gorev, Los Pollos Hermanos. Check out the 5-minute candle. Loss, I seen you talk about Tesla here this morning. Sorry, guys. A lot going on. I have to check in this with that. Nonetheless, we're putting on this trade. So far, it's working out for us, as the SPY might look like it wants to climb a little bit higher as well. For me, the question is, how are the banks performing bright and early this morning? Not too good here, Sean. We have JPM down about a little bit, about a fifth of percent there. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs positive 1% plus on each one of them. But we've seen the inverse last Friday. JPM was holding up relatively well on Thursday. It hit the all-time highs. Well, some of the other names were starting to pull back. I said this was going to be a lagger, and I'm referring to JPM, and it eventually caught up, and it hit all-time highs relatively quick. So it's good to see the banks really start to make some moves.
I like the bank stocks there. Yeah. Rocket Lab had a problem with $96 RKLB right now. So as we look at Rocket Lab, a great trade on Nvidia. While you were just grabbing a coffee there, I was looking at 193.50. It bounced sort of off there. I'm glad that you have that, basically that exact price with NVDA. So great trade there. $96 right there for Rocket Lab. That was a level in the pre-market. It hit it right off the open. It's now bouncing back into VWAP there. So Rocket Lab up 10%. Yeah, I got some FOMO on that NVIDIA trade. That was a good one there. $93 trying to hold right now for Rocket Lab. That is at VWAP. So if you like the stock, I think you got to buy it right now on a dip down. If you like it, I'm still looking at SpaceX. It's not really doing anything. Maybe we're looking in the wrong spot, to be honest with you. You know what else I was thinking about? Why not rotate out of everything tech that I own and just put it in the SMH? Because SMH is a basket of all of them. I was saying last week, Joe, how much I like Qualcomm. And they got hit on that deal, and then they just bounced right back like huge, and now it's right back down again. So, back up into 220, back down to 190 again. Qualcomm on the way back down in. I actually like this name. I like PanW. I like GLW as well as Qualcomm. So there's some good opportunities here in the space other than chip names, but the SMH kind of wraps it all up into one. And of course, we're talking about the Van X Semiconductors space. So I kind of like the SMH down here, bouncing off that 600, high of 660, now down 10% from its all-time highs. SMH, it kind of gives you a little bit of it all.
Did you want anything from the kitchen? I'm going to clean.
No, I have a great water here already.
Great water there. All right, the Green Bay Packers.
Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, I can only. I got my Green Bay Packers shareholder meeting invitation. So yeah, it came in the mail yesterday, and my kid was on Friday, and my kid was like, "Oh my God, Dad, you got all this mail from the Green Bay Packers." And I told him, open it up, and it goes, dear owner or shareholder of the Green Bay, and he knows I'm like that, but it had the little tickets in there to go to Lambeau. So one year I got to go, man. One year I got to go and do the shareholder meeting there in Lambeau. Okay, man. Micron's been, quite a move down, right, off of earnings. We did have a big move initially on earnings, and since then it's come back in. Looking at $1,000 again, it's not right now, but I think that would be, a decent area for some Micron to potentially come through. Right now, $1,090 for MU, trying to get going, but nice downside play, down 4% right now, and looking to break lower on Micron. What is an ETF, MUU or something like that, that you can trade for Micron if it's a little too expensive? It is. It's your 2 times bull, but they're all the same price. So I shouldn't talk about being too expensive. This is still $1,000. But look at us trying to break below right now. I would say watch out here for Micron. This could be a great. I hate shorting Micron, but right now that looks like a better short than it does a long. I would rather wait for 1,110 or so to come into play for Micron back up there to the upside. You know what? You've got Nvidia, and I don't have anything. I'm waiting to get Intel on board. That doesn't seem to be happening right now. Oh yeah, they have that. I was looking at that pink sheet name there, so that's showing up there as well. So we got to get that off. But that's just looking at DIY. There was here. I'll show it to you. I don't care. DIY. There was a big level here at 335. So that's just. I bought there, just trying to get it out right here. There's absolutely nothing going on right now with that one, so we got to figure that out. But yeah, that's all we're doing right now. We're trying to do better, trying to look for some more opportunities here, maybe including SoFi, Robinhood, something like that.
I think they're going to come up here momentarily, Sean. To be honest with you, as the market is starting to move a little bit higher, we can head over to our watch list and our options chain. I've offloaded this now. We're sitting on about 45% of the position. We're going to hold on to it. Would I have liked more shares? Absolutely, and you know what? To be honest with you, I have to take into consideration the fact that now we're at $28 specifically on this name. So I have to add significantly. Before it was around $100, $100 plus, where you had to really watch the position side. But now we can really start to add a little bit of shares to this, considering it's relatively cheap right now. Now, what was really strong last week, I don't know if you've seen this, was the airlines. The cheapening of oil prices, and you've seen some of the cruise lines as well go on some big-time runs. Here's the 5-minute time frame. UAL, DAL, AAL, starting to come back in a little bit, but strong movement over the past week, considering jet fuel going to start to be a little bit cheaper. Now, here's the SpaceX ETF. Nothing crazy. What was this is what I actually wanted to do. Is you were talking about the Vanex semiconductor ETF. I actually wanted to pull it up here on our overview and go over the exact holdings and the weighting of those holdings as well. Because if you're looking to own these, you have to know this. So at the top of the list, we have 15.25% is NVDA. TSM is 9%. MU is 7%, closer to 8%. Definitely increased in weight over the appreciation. Advanced Micro Devices, 7.6. So this is a good basket of stocks, if you ask me. Now, I'm in the camp of Sean. You have to be prepared to sit through some volatility if you're going to own individual names. If not, if you don't want to go through that hectic up and down and then having to deal with catalysts and all the market noise that goes along with it, your best is just to fall into the S&P 500 via SPY or VOO, where you're going to collect a little bit more of a dividend, or the NASDAQ itself. Triple Qs, vehicles that I've personally never owned any of them. I'm an individual stock guy. I believe I'm at the age where I can have a little bit more risk on, but don't think it hasn't crossed my mind. But I like some exposure to some of these equities because you get a little bit more of appreciation. But if you don't want to sit through that volatility, you want more of a calm, cool lifestyle, the Qs and the SPY are definitely the way to go.
Yeah, new trade alert.
There you go.
So here we go, man. We bought some Palantir off VWAP. I mean, Palantir has been, a decent name to look at here today. It was on our watch list. They do get some more talk about, the government. They get some more talk about their sort of foundry come into place and some of the partnerships there with the United States government, up 4% there today, as the NASDAQ having a decent rally back day, now up 1.24%. Now, the rally's not in every single name here, right? I mean, as we continue to look at, what's moving and what's not, but we still will continue to focus on PLTR, right? And so Palantir right here, trying to get going. There it is, 118. Let's go Palantir right now. Nice move higher here for PLTR as we get into 118. That's your dollar. I mean, we have one trade on today, and we're long at 117.05. So there goes Palantir right up into 118. I'm going to take a little bit off if we can right now on PLTR and see what winds up happening with a nice move. Yes, Joe, that's a face slapper right there. Me and Joe and I got them going on right now today. So that's a great trade there on Nvidia, obviously. And there goes PLTR, your first Dollar Club member. Hey, we're back. We put on one trade and it's $1. So there it goes. Hopefully you guys are trying to, look at this. And why did we like Palantir? Again, it's in the news today. It was up in the pre-market. We always looking for stocks that are relatively strong. And there it goes, man. Nice move higher there for Sir Palantir and Alex Karp. You don't want to call me sir or anything. You want that. You want to call Palantir and Alex Karp. You talk about your stocks moving around. And, Nvidia with a nice battle back there. That's a great trade over there. We'll still wait. And that was just patience, man. You guys had mentioned, hey, what about Palantir? What about Palantir? When it came back down through, we were sitting there at VWAP to pick that up. I should have covered that before, but there it is now. Back up through 118. We'll take another fill there on PLTR. What is OUST? Shout out to you, Scott. And Ouster. Okay, Adara, if there's any news on Ouster, maybe right now, as that's up 23%. And shout out to you, Scott.
I'm checking, but a lot of the times with Ouster, it's random people trying to hype it on social media. As I check right now, I'm not seeing any news. There's not been a Benzinga post on this for over a week.
Okay, so there goes Ouster trying to come in. Those of you, I do have DIY on, and I'm not really doing anything. It bounced off 335. So I just looked at that. It's a Chinese name I look at on the OTC markets every once in a while. You guys are right. There's really no volume in it. So, I got filled down there, and we're just kind of averaging into it. So that's what that is. And if we could take a few thousand shares and make a penny, maybe we'll do that. But here it goes, man. This is where the bread's being buttered today, man. That is for sure. Palantir now,
How
Joe,
is it doing now?
is $1.80 now. in the money on PLTR. So it's outsteering us to the upside right now, as that's a big one, right? We're done. Like we've got our daily goal here, just off one trade.
So just wrap it up, man. Put the mic back on the charging station.
So you just take it over.
Yeah, I'll
just
see
like
what
how
I can.
We went for 20 minutes in the morning. You can wrap that thing up. But no, the reason why I talk like that, it doesn't, it's more about the fact that like as traders, we hear a lot of people there. And I don't know if it was Tony, I don't know who it was in the chat there, but you mentioned like, you made 5K last week and then you lost it on Thursday or Friday, and so you're kind of like womp womp, like woe is me, do I get back in? And part of it is confidence when you're trading, and that's why when you hit certain levels and you can sort of get out of that trade, do it. Like hit your certain levels, put that money in the bank, and then go deal with other situations that you might have in your life. Go to the gym, maybe sort out what's going on with your dog at home, get all that kind of stuff all figured out. As, in life, lots of things happen. And trading for me, obviously we're sitting here every day and it's a business, right? But it can almost be a side hustle.
It is.
And I think that if you had that mentality, like almost like you're getting in and out of an opportunity. It doesn't mean that every single day that opportunity is going to present itself again.
Absolutely, because it doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't. And to add to Katina's point, if you've made, why is it so long? What's wrong with it? I think it might be too loud. Anyways, I'll let you deal with that. Apparently my mic's a little bit too loud. But hey, to add to Sean's point, if you make 5K, if you make 5K in a week, it's pretty good, right? Like, I mean, that's really, really good. So what you want to do, if you still feel like trading, put $3,500 to $4,000 of that away, bank it, and then mess with the other $1,000. You either lose it, you have to live with that, or maybe you double it, right? So there's no reason why you should be giving back $5,000 that you've made on the week. Then that just means you had zero discipline. I understand that swinging big, you're going to make it big, but not when you're in that situation. You want to bank that and then come back the next week and just continuously roll that over. And as Sean mentioned, you're not going to have the same opportunities every day. It's best to use this as a side hustle at times and just use it as a topper, right? Because this is one of the only professions where you get to come into work every day and there's a probability, and for some people a higher probability, that you're going to lose money. It's that simple. Right? And it makes it extremely, extremely difficult. All right, we have NVDA starting to come back in, guys. We're all out of this one break even. We got stopped out about 33% of our position, and now it's starting to come back in pretty aggressively. Some topping tail signals. I was looking at Tesla. Tesla was strong. Someone asking me to take a look on Axon Enterprise, and is it good for a swing? If you break 514, then I think you'll get a little bit of continuation. Just the trajectory that the current price action is on right now, I think you will get a break of that key pivot. You can see there's resistance there. So momentum is going to stick to the upside. If it fails, then I would look to get out relatively quick.
We're going to go over to Adara.
Yeah, let's send it over to Adara.
About this Axon thing, because I saw an article about this in CNBC. So some people asking about it in the chat. So I kind of want to address this. People saying Trump is stocking up on Axon. Now, the article I saw on CNBC, and there could be other things here, was that actually he purchased on February 10th before there was some kind of governmental ask here for tasers from Axon. So that was the article. To my knowledge, he hasn't added any new shares since. So of course, it could be completely wrong. But if that's what people are referring to here with Trump and Axon, this is a bit of an older catalyst that's just being, I guess, mentioned over the last couple hours on CNBC. Back to you.
I'm going to. I'm not caught with Joey. Joe's out.
I'm out. Smart. Yeah.
I'm into Nvidia right now. So here comes Nvidia. I'll buy a little bit down here. I'm stuck at 43s. I'm going to try to take a little bit of this blood out right now and see what winds up happening with this trade. But there's a little bit out there. We're stuck long now right here. So I was going to give this to about like 192.50s. I think that's a little bit too low for my liking here. We'll get some out at 40. Wow, it just ripped up to 40 there. We got to fill it. That was nice. As we start to get a little bit more out here of NVIDIA, let's give it a little bit of room and see what winds up happening there with NVDA up through 193 and change right now. Our Palantir's doing good. We were able to get some out at the high side there, 119, 118.40s. As that's trying to come back in just a little bit, let's get some more out there at 118, 117.50. NVIDIA is really the talk of the town for me right now. So I was gonna, let's just maybe give it to this little break. Yeah, 192, let's put this in right around 192.75. If we break below that, man, let's tap out a little bit here of Nvidia. So we're long right now where we are. We're gonna see if we can get back up to 194 and get a piece out here of NVDA. I'm long Nvidia right here and Palantir and trying to wait to see if there's gonna be that rug pull right now in the NASDAQ, man. We were up huge. And then all of a sudden to the downside right now, we're up 1.4, now cut in half as we look to maybe dip by some of this NASDAQ strength. But you're more favoring the short now in the NASDAQ, or you're?
I mean, I'm going to hold on, right? Like, let's see what's going on. I think that's been the narrative here for the past couple of sessions, Sean, is that we have those early morning pops, and then it slowly starts to fade. Now, what I'm looking at here on the TQQs, yo, Day Trader Cut, glad to see you back in the chat, by the way. And I'm like, hey, man, where you been? Hopefully your trading's been going well, and same with everyone else. I've seen a lot of love here in the chat before I talk about the NASDAQ. Dragos, I didn't watch it. A lot of my buddies from Vegas were messaging me like, hey, did you watch the fight? Did you watch the fight? I didn't. I'm actually going to later. So we got our boy Day Trader Cut in the chat and everyone else, Los Polios. We got Blicky in there. I haven't seen Jesse this morning, surprisingly, but everyone who's showing love to Sean and I, much appreciated. But let's head right back in here. We're no man's land. This was like, Neil and I were talking about this last week. Listen, I understand this pullback. You get 12% at this point from those to those lows, and then you just go on this insane run. Now, I would like to see a break of the high and then a pullback right here and a retest. I think this is all overdone and extra. That extra 14% is going to cause this market to be a little bit choppy for a little bit longer. Now, if you ask me, I'm not going to say it's inevitable, but I would put my bottom dollar on the fact that this $700 mark on the NASDAQ is going to break, especially when you have DRAM and some of these memory plays that have been going absolutely nuts, slowly starting to come back in. Now, DRAM, $80, you're down 17% off of the highs in this ETF, right? We've gone over it. The majority of its holdings are SK Hynix. You have the Samsungs in the world in here as well. So it gives you a lot of exposure to this storage. But with the Qs slowly starting to come in, we failed to put in a new high right here. Absorbing some more liquidity and some downside movement, I think it's totally healthy for this market. We can't just go up all the time. And Sean, to quote you, what you said a couple of weeks ago, if you didn't know stocks could go down, there's going to be a whole world of trouble for you in the near future. Watch out, $700 to crack in the near future, in my opinion, in the overall market.
We do have, let me know if we have to go over to Dara. I might have heard something there. Okay, let's go over for happening now. Marvell is crashing. So we just got a super chat there. Let's, maybe we can go over this. We'll send this to the board and have a quick little look. As the NASDAQ is falling back down, remember, we were initially looking for a short in Intel. We wind up taking the long in Nvidia because that came back in. That doesn't look like it's going very well, but here goes, man. The chip names, and we sold some of this at 330. Obviously, we don't sell enough of it, but there it comes cracking right back down in Marvell. We'll see if it holds this 250 area. It doesn't look like it. I don't want to necessarily dip by this name as we've been getting hit right now in the chip names. So nice move down. We're waiting for Nvidia to bounce. It doesn't look like Marvell wants to do that. I'm still stuck hella long this name. But yeah, what goes up does come down as Marvell all the way back to early June. So kind of undoing the whole month now on MRVL. Hey, look, it's 10 o'clock already. Joe and I are having a great time. I hope you are as well. It's happening now with Adara.
S&P 500 gapped up and was pushing higher. That was slamming lower there in that second 15-minute candle of the day. Let's see how the third 15-minute candle fares. Here's a look at the NASDAQ, looking pretty similar here to the SPY. And oil, of course, back in focus as we did have, unfortunately, some strikes against Iran from the U.S. in retaliation for Iranian strikes in the Strait of Hormuz. Then President Trump says in a social media post this morning that Iran has requested a meeting with the U.S. in Qatar that'll occur tomorrow. So if we get more details, we'll let you know. But either way, worth noting, keeping an eye here on oil. Keep an eye as well here on PLTR, Palantir in focus, an NVIDIA-related deal. That's an AI name that's actually pushing higher here, but some of these beat-up AI names not faring so well today. Oracle initially gapped up, right now completely closing the gap. Again, it had its worst week since 2001 during the unwind of the dot-com bubble as of last week. Another name from that AI kind of space that's going to be in focus here. Micron, really great week yesterday. Now here at intraday lows. It's down roughly $75 from where it opened. SpaceX going to be in focus here today as well. SPCX, another name that's pulling back from session highs. But it was announced here by NASDAQ. The company is going to join the NASDAQ 100 as of July 7th, 2026. GameStop in focus. Not a massive move here, but a name that I know a lot of people like. Ryan Cohen and company are not giving up on their bid that's already been rejected to buy eBay. Company also announcing here their guidance, including pretty strong adjusted EBITDA growth for fiscal 26. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to stick with us all day as we send you back over to Sean and Joe.
All right, good
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Before we do what we're going to do, Andre, I just want to say we did get a dip buy opportunity there, 193. We're cashing it out now, 193.50. They're on Nvidia, so that one's a face slapper there. Palantir now still that dollar, so we're going to wait to see how much higher this is going to go. But now that I say that, I'm going to put another offer here at 118. It seems like it's having a little bit of a problem now, but we'll let it try to develop upside right there for Palantir. And there was another name I was looking at, but for now, we got to talk about Trade the Pool, because traders, here's an offer that your broker, I guarantee you, is not giving you. Markets have been extremely active lately. And for traders, this kind of environment creates, of course, opportunity. Big moves mean more setups and means more momentum. But to really take advantage of these conditions, you need two things: discipline and, of course, access to capital. And that's where Trade the Pool comes in. Instead of being limited by the size of your own account, traders can access firm capital and focus on executing their strategy and, of course, managing risk. No more fear of blowing up your own personal account. No more moving your stop loss too early because you're worried about your own savings. This is what we call limited risk trading. If you want to take advantage of the volatility in today's markets without risking your own capital, please visit ttp.com, tradethepool.com, and link in description and QR code right there on your screen. Hey, the market never sleeps, and apparently neither does Adara with another story. Let's go back over and see what she's up to.
Where are my currency traders at? We have JPY and USD back in focus. So here's the USD to JPY chart. As you can see, USD really strong against the JPY. In fact, apparently, the yen, the Japanese yen, was at its weakest level versus the dollar since 1986. That is a 40-year low. And then we hear a couple of minutes ago that there is suspected yen intervention. As such, you get this pullback here in the USD. So again, USD, JPY, and watch. There was some weakness here with the JPY versus the USD, after which we hear of suspected yen intervention. I also want to mention a completely different note, TTD. Someone in the chat here, I believe Benson C, was asking about TTD. It's up 5%. I could not find any news on it. It actually just recently bounced from a 52-week low that was made last week. That's the trade desk. Back to you.
All right. I just realized that the TQ's dropping nicely into $73 right now, and I was waiting at that. Yeah, I was waiting at 73.20s to get longs. We'll put a bid a little bit higher than that and see what winds up happening. If we, there it is. If we do break below 73s, I mean, how much more do we even want this name? I'm going to put the stop at 72.89. If we break below 73 bucks, let's not get into it. I mean, the market's coming back in right here, right now. We are losing Nvidia now, so it was a good thing that we did talk about getting some out. My stop on Nvidia is right here, a break of 75, and we're going to be out on NVDA. So we're starting to give some back right now in the broader markets, especially with this Nvidia trade. We are now into the queue, so we do have our full position on right now. So not full that I'm going to take, 4 right now. Trying not to, there goes NVIDIA, by the way, man. So we'll slap the fail as that's moving in. And here's the trade that's coming in right now. So I said we'll buy 154s. I'm going to give this to 153.50s. So now we're long here on SpaceX. The longs are really coming in right now. Not sure. We're going to give this 50 cents on SpaceX. It's not super violent. Like, I don't think we have to necessarily worry too much about it, but it is trying to come back in. That is SPCX. We do average in. Now we've got our TQQ position on right now. So we're giving back what we made today a little bit here. There goes the TQs. Big move right there. I don't know what just happened, but the market does spike a bit. Unfortunately, we don't take advantage of it, but there's a nice spike up there off the TQs. We do have a long right now at 73.15, Joe.
All right, man. Good stuff. I see you're in multiple positions there. Rocking and rolling. All right, let's take a look at Netflix, guys. I know a couple people in the chat asking me about Netflix. We'll peep over this one, but I'm also looking for an entry in the triple Qs as well. For me, there's just a support level on NVDA. If this breaks, there's going to be some more downside. And we're talking about from a notional standpoint, this has some of the largest short interest. For whatever reason, the street not liking it. Maybe the fact that some of its largest customers, Google and Amazon, really starting to look into custom ASICs chips, really hurting this name. 190 bucks. Man, oh man, I'm going to have to add some more cash flow into the account. We'll grab a little bit more, but at some point, I take that back. I'm never selling it, to be honest with you, unless it absolutely breaks down. But I highly doubt that we get 150 or anything along those lines. So I'll have to sit through some pain on that one. But moving forward, let's take a look at Netflix. Some strong price action over the past couple of sessions. Maybe a little bit of a rotation into this name, which has been overdone, in my opinion. They drop out of the bidding war between Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount. See you later. You've seen a nice strong trend break. The stock rallied here about 30%, but then gave back the majority of its move and then some. So for those who are looking to get involved with some Netflix, you want to wait for some trend lines to be broken. We can take a look at the options chain to see what we have going on over there, but I just don't think we're at an inflection point where it says, hey, let's engage in this bad boy. And there's still a lot of size here at that $80 strike price. Moving forward, what I actually want to look at is this. We're going to be talking a lot about NVDA here as the market taking an additional leg lower. It's just weak sentiment. Listen, I talked about this time and time again. It's fun when we're going up, but then what happens in the bear market movement is it typically takes a little bit longer. We were fortunate. During the tariff tantrum, we were down quick, and then we were up just as quick. Now, if you ask me, we're going to chop around a little bit, and you're going to have a lot of sessions where these pops are going to get faded, and that's exactly what's happening here. Now, I think we're at a point where I have to take into consideration, is it better to go with the trend, or am I going to try to go bottom picking and find one for a rebound back in the overall market? I don't know if we're going to get that. $200 here on NVDA, expiring today, 18,000 contracts at that level. We're not even close to it. We're 8 points away, 7.5 to be exact. I think there's just too much downward pressure in this name for us to get any form of a sustained bounce.
So I went the other. So we got to hit some fails because these longs, as we just mentioned,
one.
Just got cracked. But I'm going to go short now on SpaceX. So we tried to go long at 154. We averaged it into 150. It was a 50-cent hit. It was fine. Now we're going to try to go short. I'm going to go against 155 now. Well, whatever this 25 period is, that's whenever this sort of settles down. So we're going to try to go short. I'd hate that we were wrong by like 50 cents and then this winds up turning around on us one more time here. But now that we've broken below, I mean, I thought that 160 was a break long. It turns out to be one of the best shorts you could have had probably of the day right there, down $6, pretty easy off of a key level. I was just bearish on it. You were pretty bullish. Or sorry, I was bullish. You were pretty bearish. It was a great call.
On SpaceX? Yeah. I'm bearish.
Yeah. So that was a good one today, man, because I wish that was my sentiment, because I was looking at 160 and I would have put that down as a short if I thought that way. But I thought with the Rocket Lab news, and that was sort of kicking as well, that had a good potential to make a move. We did get stopped out of our Qs at break 73. Relatively flat trade. I mean, we did good to get some out on the TQs as well. So, I'm not going to sit here and cry about that trade. I think we did pretty decently there, to get some out, and we'll be flat on it. I mean, we wish we had a winner on there. But Nvidia came out too. That was pretty good. I was thinking about even reversing into that short. Anything else going on? We can check out our stock limiter there. There it is right here. After last week's massive sell-off, Micron results in the next morning. I booked all Q profits. Smart man. I booked all Q option gains today. Will enter after dips if sizable. So yeah, I think the dips is what Joe and I were sort of talking about here. There are
really moving.
Yeah, the market's going to be moving around here a bit. I have to focus on this SpaceX because it's up to 154.50 now. So I'm going to take another offer here short and see if we can get some more into this. I mean, obviously it's going to go with the ebbs and flows here, but yeah, a little bit of a violent move here on SpaceX. We'll take a little shot there at 154, adding to this position. We're now short at 153.50. Trying to give this one to, like I said, about 155 area. So here it comes right back into the money, SpaceX. What a violent name this one is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, here it goes, man.
Back and forth.
There is a lot of back and forth here, Sean, as the NASDAQ puts in a new low of the day. I mean, this is the only trade we have on here. We started small, we add into this position, we get that move higher, and then we get out break even. So I'm just happy that we didn't bag hold this. We get out when we were supposed to, and then sure enough, now if we're going to look to get involved in it, we're at a significantly better price, okay? So maybe we can fall into the narrative, buy low, sell higher at this point, or are we going to have to trend trade and not fight what we have going on? It's starting to get a little bit ugly. Is it working for you now, Katina, man? You got something?
Yeah, here we go. Finally, SpaceX.
There you go.
Let's go. Break that 153, my guy.
I'm telling you, 135. I believe 135 in the block. I believe 135 is totally obtainable in SpaceX. I was just looking at the price action from a daily. It wasn't strong, so I'm like, let's see if we're gonna get that. I removed my 150 order, replaced it at 125. I think we're gonna be able to get those levels. Maybe even $100 on SpaceX.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. Maybe what?
$100.
Okay,
that's
Joe.
another 30. Well, think about it. That's
guy.
30. That's 33% from where we are right now.
I like those calls, man. That's a very aggressive call. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll look to see.
I could be dead wrong.
I wouldn't lean more to that, but I don't. I have no idea. I mean, you're 100% right. If the market does come through to the downside and they don't stop believing in this build out, they're primed to get hit. So
think about how much money he's spending, right? Like as soon as they release the report, you're going to see the Capex. You're going to see how much they're actually spending.
That's the problem, I think, with Anthropic and all these other names when they start to get the market, and we actually see, because I told this story there before. My son has the $200 a month Claude because he's working. He's actually about to sign, hopefully, fingers crossed, a nice deal to get into the space with a private firm downtown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
he
wicked,
built
man.
I mean, I'm very proud of him. He built all these models and everything. And so
really?
He's had a couple great interviews. So
that's
we're hoping.
Good. So he's using Claude Code?
Claude Code. Yeah, he runs it just on his little MacBook there, and he's got some great ideas.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of him. But he has a $200 a month option, so for tokens. And he showed me the website. Someone wrote an article. By the way, we're now $1.60 in the money on SpaceX. That it's costing over $7,000.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that.
Yeah, and it's only so someone eventually is going to have to pay for this, and I think it's going to be on the back of private equity, private money coming in from. Sorry, right now it's built by public markets. Once SpaceX, which it did, has now come public. We'll see their books. What about Anthropic? What about OpenAI? What about us, says SpaceX right now? Because there it is, man. It's $2. And you know what? This is the thing. You gotta have, and I always talk like this. I just want to show my sticky note again because people are gonna be like, who's this clown? Hey, it's me. Who was talking about SpaceX long all morning. I was, man. We were definitely long on SpaceX. I'm here to tell you, this was me on SpaceX buying, got some out, and then whoosh. Once that 154 broke, that was my level. Once that broke, we went short. We're short 153.70s right now. So that was, a good call to reverse into the short as the NASDAQ now turns negative. We are sitting here on Palantir waiting to see what winds up happening with this one. If this breaks 116, we can get out of this. So 115.90s. I guess I was getting a little carried away with SpaceX. Wish we would have maybe looked a little bit more at this Palantir, but right now Palantir trying to battle back a little bit. We'll see if we can take advantage of that. It's now in the money, so we'll offer some out here on Palantir as that's trying to go back up to the upside. So all is well. We buy a couple dips in Palantir. We short that on SpaceX, and boom shakalaka. The bear and the bull is back in the building. We come back from vacation, and I don't think we've missed a beat over here.
No problem. That's good, man.
It's been a good day so far.
That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, so I think we're at the point now, guys, where I'm going to be looking for a short in the overall market as we continue to establish new lows. I mean, there was a couple of signals that displayed themselves that you might find a rebound back towards the volume-weighted average price. That's not the narrative at this point. DRAM absolutely fallen off a cliff. We can head over to our storage names and see what we have going on from that point, and they're really starting to drag the market down. It's not looking good. 190 and change for NVDA, guys, and I've been mentioning this for quite some time. 150 incoming for SpaceX, I believe today. That's going to be a key point. And then also Bitcoin heading to the downside. Yeah, things are getting really, really ugly at this. I've only had one trade. We're 1 for 1 this morning. We don't want to rush into anything, but nothing to write home about, all right? Like we want to put on some more sides. We want to find the opportunity, but this is what I'm talking about. You have a failed established high right here, and then now you're heading towards some key support levels with momentum. Watch out for 700 to be broken in the NASDAQ, which is totally fine. This is like Michael Noss was talking about it. In the bigger picture, we're down 5%, closer to 6. So what? Like if you get a pullback to, bear market is all the way down to 598. I don't think we get that anytime soon. We're rolling into earnings season. This is going to be a key inflection point to see where the market is going to head. Micron throwing out outstanding numbers, Sean. Yeah. It's still starting to sell a little bit, which is totally fine. The market catching up with it, which is totally reasonable. Where have we seen this before? A company that just puts insane numbers, double beats, insane guidance, and then sells off. NVDA, it's the same thing. It's the same narrative. You got to let PE catch up. You have to allow price action to catch up to some of the valuations. And then, sure enough, I wouldn't be surprised we talk about bottlenecks within the stores into 2027, into early 2028. I think we can continue. But stocks don't always just go in a parabolic line to the top side. They pull back. And for me, it's a buying opportunity.
Yeah, I can't believe that move. Like when you said 190 on Nvidia, I was like, what the hell? It's a good thing. And I know you're talking about it. I just want to show you guys. This is why you get out.
Exactly.
Like, look at this move. Like, this is a shutdown for me. If I'm holding this and being stubborn about it, then I'm dead in the water, and I don't lose everything this month, but definitely you lose a week.
You take a big hit.
Take a big hit, right? Definitely not worth it. So pick and choose your poison, especially in a market like this. I mean, we talked about Marvell getting clapped to the downside, and yeah, man, like that right now down 5%. Like this is making me a little sick, to be honest with you, how some of these moves are going. But if you stick, I mean, I'm only in 2 positions, and Joe's got the long. Wow, TQ 71.90. Wow, I like 73 long. Oh, by the way, I want to talk about this. Zion. Thank you so much, man. All the super chats. I mean, I know Zion and we go back and forth, and there's been a lot of traders there. He admires the patience on buying that SpaceX. And so, yeah, man, it did come right into our level. We did buy the 154s there. We lost on it, but we're well up. SpaceX is my #1 stock. Well, Palantir is, but SpaceX is trying to battle with Palantir right now because we're able to reverse that trade and get some out for multiple dollars. Like my hit on this name was right into here. Like we lost pretty much, what was it? 65 cents, I think. We bought 154s and we bought 153.70s. So we even less than that, I think. Maybe we took like a 50-cent hit or less. Right now, we're $2 in the money on this trade right now. And we do have $2 outs down here. So, I mean, this is kind of that risk to reward, Joe, that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When you and I sit here and we look at like where the opportunities lie, and that is that sometimes you do need to switch up your mindset a little bit and think about going short and not just sitting in the same trades over and over and over again. So I do appreciate that.
Look at Google go.
Zion.
And Amazon.
Oh, yeah. So Google and Amazon. This is the thing. We talked about switching out of Nvidia and over to Google. How smart were we, Joe, when you and I talked about that at 9 o'clock? But the idea here behind Google is Google and Amazon are the 2 biggest investors in the public markets right now of Anthropic.
Yeah.
And Anthropic is getting, they got another, I mean, Derek can confirm this. We're going to go over to her in a second. But I think Anthropic was, I just heard something about, something about California just approved Anthropic or something.
I looked into that. The timing for when Amazon moved is a bit off, and Zoom usually moves in Anthropic stories, which it didn't in this case. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have a deal. The other thing that people are saying, because of who the deal's with, namely California Governor Gavin Newsom, who President Trump notoriously does not like, people are saying this could actually be a bad look for Anthropic in the long run with the federal government. Right, okay, it makes a little bit of sense there. Thanks to Darian. Thank you, Randy, for getting another reload, man. This guy.
Oh, Randy got you a reload?
You want one?
Oh, man. No, it's all right, man.
What do you mean? Randy's right here.
In there. Yeah, no, you just went.
Bam! He got you one too, my guy.
My guy. Let's go.
All right,
as
cheers.
we roll up, cheers. Bang.
We like that.
Oh, hold on. You got to put the pinky up.
Nah. Next time.
Man, there we go. Hey, you got something rolling on here. Check the TQ's entry price, my boy. There it goes. We're finally starting to cook up a little bit. Patience is key, ladies and gentlemen. We'll send the rocket. Hey, listen, I don't have my stream deck here. I'll have it when I head over to the other desk at 11. Oh, we're starting to come back in a little bit aggressive.
I hope I'm living up to Neil's expectations hosting with you.
Why?
You know, because, you know, you're the man.
I'm not the man. So this that's you. That's you and Neil. You guys are the big boys around here, the big dogs.
We will really love working over here with Joe. So, you know, shout out to everybody. Thanks for all the support here live on the stream. Joe's got a banger. We've got some bangers on right now. And we do have coming up. I mean, we have a trading small caps. It doesn't mean they're not worth recapping. Here it is. It's a Dara. It's small cap recap. Let's roll.
It's cool.
So also a couple other stories here too before we get into the small cap recap. For one, Ouster. People were wondering why this was moving. I just saw this. The reason I couldn't find this right away because it's a very convoluted sympathy play. But basically, OUST on watch as CCXI. Now this is a SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation or company. They're combining here with Agility Robotics. So Agility Robotics going public through CCXI. Now, what does this have to do with Ouster? Well, apparently, Agility's Digit robot uses its LiDAR, which gives Ouster direct exposure to a humanoid robotics platform that is apparently close to commercial ready. So that's the deal with Ouster. It's super, super convoluted, but they have a positive relationship, at least tangentially, to a company that's going public via SPAC. Now, let's talk about the Fed side of things here. Fed on watch. I know I mentioned this last week that we were very likely to hear from the Supreme Court on Fed's Lisa Cook today. We actually did. So apparently, the Supreme Court will not be allowing President Trump to remove Fed Governor Lisa Cook as they investigate the situation. We know it was announced that he wanted to fire her on August 20th. that firing apparently cannot happen, at least not right away, at least while there's an investigation in place. So she'll stay on for the time being. Apparently the Supreme Court also, though, got rid of a 1935 precedent that allowed for independent agencies. So there could be more firing power potentially for the president going forward. Either way here, both those stories on watch with regards to Lisa Cook and the Fed independence as a whole. Now let's talk about these small caps. Thank you guys for letting me go through those stories here. UPC in focus, Universe Pharmaceuticals, trading higher here. We know Friday after the bell, they announced they're going to be acquiring Best Praise International here for $10.75 million. Now, the market cap of this company is actually less than $10.75 million. With this rally, it's about $10 million market cap here. 333,000 share float. It's a pretty small float here. Let's take a look at AZI, Atozi. This catalyst comes from back on Thursday, so not a new catalyst here, but Atozi trading higher, announcing as of Thursday a $5.25 million securities purchase agreement. This company here has a market cap of $190 million, float here of 440 million shares, 11% short float. Last but not least, a name that I know some people in our chat were looking at, including Arun. FCell was on our watch today as well, I believe. FuelCell, they announced a $49 million financing here for South Korean export project. You've got a larger market cap here, about $2 billion, 67 million share float, and a 10% short float for FCEL. Back to the boys.
Thank you. And first of all, I mean, thank you to all the love here in the chat. Man. They're loving the combo, but more importantly, there was actually another one up there that I had to scroll too far back, and they're like, every combo is a great combo, and that's exactly the whole point we're trying to do here.
It's very true.
I'm taking some time off. Neil's taking some time off. Sharif's taking some time off on Wednesday to go to some soccer. I'm sure he'll talk about that with you on the midday. And we have the return of Obi. Let's go, man. Obi will be here on Wednesday to cover for my guy Sharif. I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And he's going to be here on the 10th.
Obi making that money now.
He's going to be covering for me on the 10th as I do a little trek. Yeah, as I do a little trek to the great capital of our country, Ottawa, Ontario.
Saskatoon? Oh, in Ottawa?
What's up, Adara?
What's going on
I
in
just want to know when we get the Adobe.
Yeah, all right, maybe at some point. Hey, maybe who knows during the holiday season.
Adara is on the news desk.
That's it. You're glued there.
Story.
No, maybe if she wants it.
I would love for Adara to sit back here, but I mean the thing is,
hey,
that
if you take a look,
I know the best part of the show is the news. So
yeah.
To pull her off the news desk would be suicide for us.
Well, maybe she can do two things that I'm sure she can multitask just fine, trade and do some news.
I'm sure
but you do want to focus on a little bit of both. What we do have here, guys, now everyone's talking about like, wait, what's going on? Why did I decide to go long Gorev? Check this out. We had multiple things. The stars were aligning, my friend. We had an indecision print off of the lows with volume. So VPA 101 right there. I had to take the trade when moments ago, I'm like, oh, okay, am I going to get a continuation to the short side? So there it is. We're fortunate enough to get this one. How many trades today, Katina Man? 2. What is our accuracy on today's session? 100%. So, I mean, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. Anything can happen, especially if you continuously take those shots. Unfortunately, you can't shoot 100% from the free throw line. If you did, you'd probably be the best NBA player of all time. But bang, there it goes. Another high for your boy.
Bro, we're rubbing off on each other.
Why? What happened?
This is the difference. What do you mean? We're doing it together.
We're doing it live.
We've got the big trades. We've got everything.
We've got everything rolling.
We've got the good vibes going on. We killed 20 minutes earlier today as we had no idea what was going on with the software. We want to thank everybody for staying with us.
It's crazy what's going on here because I mentioned, and I'll say it one more time, just the chaos in the Wilson household this morning was through the absolute roof. So to come in here and do this and be this with all of you guys is absolutely fantastic. So we're having a good one now.
This is what we're doing, man. Every day, man, every day. And we got double back-to-back jacks right here. We got $1 from my guy over here. We've got SpaceX now.
Am I $1 ITM on this?
Almost. Almost. Got to get going on it. We'll get going there. We took 151.80s there. We are now, look at this one, man. We talked about the number one name in the spot right now. We've got another one. We're going to find another one, and then after that, another one. But look what Palantir's doing right now. We are back, baby. As Alex Carp bringing this level higher. Although I think it was the U.S. government. Some good news today with Palantir and the U.S. government and Nvidia. So there it goes, man. Nice move higher. I'm going to top out a little bit here at 60s, and then wait. I had an offer at 80 that just didn't fill there. So because we missed that one.
There it goes, Katina, man.
Let's go.
You know what it is.
Only a matter of time, my guy. And there it goes, man. Nice move higher for you right there. And nice, we just got some more on Palantir. Let's wait to see if it does come back up through that 118. But yeah, we're doing it here. We just broke that 153. I got to give this one to 153.50. We're just going to stop out. Let's give it to 154 on SpaceX. Now we're going to cancel our past stop out. Okay, that one's good to go. Because we're using this 25 period moving average. So we should have stopped out at 153. So that's kind of like where it is right now. Let's put a bid here in the 20s. We'll just bid 22s. Hopefully we'll be able to get that, and that will, get me out of a little bit more, which we should have got out right there on that break. We're going to give it to 154 now. We only have about 20% of the position left, so there's still some on here. We still have an opportunity to win on this trade, but for right now, it's kind of just hovering, sort of in the abyss right here is SpaceX, as it's trying to get back to the upside right now. I liked the long, so there we go. We do take a piece out there at 153.22s. I do like the long in this name. But for right now, let's just do our best and see what we can do on the cover of 153 and wait for 154. All right, yeah, I did see that, Scott H. Yeah, he did just mention that about Cook is not going anywhere. So apparently Trump, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything.
So she can still be fired, but she will still stay in her job in the meantime. That's really what this question was.
Yeah, okay. So, so in the meantime, we still have 30 more days until the next FOMC meeting, and it's looking much more like right now that we get that rate hike. Unfortunately, the next meeting. Now, we were thinking that maybe that would take till the end of the year, but this is our current rate, and now it's looking like we get 30% of a chance for, there it is, for a rate hike next month. So, yeah, is it the worst sell-off in a month in Micron? I haven't been super focused on that, but we can. I mean, we talked about the chip names, and all I can do is say, like...
Is it, though?
Oh, I don't know. I have to look at it.
No, I mean, is it I heard Adair say it's massive. You're down 16%.
Joe, it was almost SSR.
It's 8%, man. So
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, today. But I'm talking bigger picture. You're down 16% off the all-time highs.
Yeah, no.
In a stock that's gone multiple 100% in the past couple of months.
Before options,
Just saying.
Before earnings, we were talking about this one being vulnerable. Right, because we had a great quarter from Marvell, obviously. We had a great quarter from Palantir. We had a great quarter from Nvidia. All these names fell down. So I remember sitting here, it was $1,200 in Micron, and we were just like, man, it's before earnings, you can get some off. And hopefully you did. And, we did do some of that in Marvell and whatnot, but not enough. And so Micron, I agree with Joe sort of, and I know that's what Adair meant was just today's move, but I think that there's potentially a lot more downside in this name. And I hate to say that because I do think it is
crazy.
It is the dog that sort of wags the tail is Micron now. It's not no longer Nvidia, right? I mean, Nvidia right now is getting smoked and the NASDAQ is up on the day. Well, now Nvidia's back a little bit, I guess, there, Joe. Now Nvidia's flat, but NASDAQ's still up 0.6, right? Nvidia up 0.5.
Yeah.
So there's other names starting to lead the way here, including I was looking at Apple earlier. I think you mentioned about Meta was starting to move higher there today, but look at what Apple's doing, right? I mean, this is down not 1%. Helping the market one bit, down to 2.
Meta up 3%.
Meta up 3. Is it Microsoft then that's helping out the NASDAQ today?
Well, no, it's Google. It's Google and Amazon.
Google and Amazon, yeah.
And then Tesla's also up 4 1/5 today too, right?
So Microsoft up 1. Not horrible.
Yeah, it's not horrible. I mean, NVDA is probably next to Apple is the second worst performer here today. You're up 0.1%, and you haven't broken through the volume-weighted average price. I mean, I'm sitting on less than 10% of our position here. TQ is still holding on to positivity as we just piece it out on the way up here. A beautiful buy right off of those lows. There's too many stars just aligning for me to not take this trade, even though I was thinking short, considering we had that aggressive sell-off. Signals were displayed, so you take the opportunities that you can. Now, what's really going to be key for me next, whether we add some more or we're looking to go short, is how we react around the volume-weighted average price. This is going to be key. But again, just to go back to what we were talking about, Palantir up 4.5% almost. AMD actually down 2.8% here, Katina, man. ARM, Intel, so some of the other chip names, relatively speaking, I guess I can't complain too much. You're up 1/5% in NVDA when the rest of its peers are moving to the downside. 6%, 6 3/4 on Micron. Dell down 3% as well too. SanDisk down 6.5%, but Western Digital up 4.6% here, Sean. So that's not too horrible whatsoever. I mean, listen, you're going to find signs of strength. And I'm hoping as I scroll down a little bit lower, we see, okay, we're back up north of $100 in Robinhood as we gain 2%, 2.5% on the hood there. But what we really want is JP Morgan. How are we doing? Yes, Katina, man.
Yes, let's go. What is it
Capital. Hey, listen, we've been talking about this in lower 300s.
Yeah.
Wilson Katina Capital.
I love it.
Now $330 and up a staggering 0.5% here today. Is some of the banks, guys.
We did get stopped out, so our SpaceX does come out at 154. It looks like that might have been the top. We could have waited for 154.40. I'm going to try to short 154.40 if it does come back up there. So that could be a trade that we wait for. But again, look at all. I mean, once you start to see a little bit of a barcode like that and you start to see some support, definitely worth getting out of, in my opinion. And then, we got punched out of our last. I said we had about 20%, but we did get that fill there. So we had about 15% left. So that comes out flat. So that kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, we did really well on SpaceX to take advantage of that move down. So pretty happy with, the sort of structure of what SpaceX looks like there. IBIT, unfortunately, it looks like NASDAQ, and we could talk about MSTR and all that, but it looks like the IBIT name here, which is Bitcoin ETF, of course, moving down, right? So, I don't love crypto. I would much rather if it got to VWAP before we start to short that thing. So we're still waiting for a move there. Obviously, it's broken back down now below 60,000. And the story early was MSTR. And that seems to be going a little opposite right now of what crypto is doing. MicroStrategy up now 5%. So it's nice to see, obviously, if you're involved in crypto, in MicroStrategy, that it's moving opposite of what Bitcoin's doing right now, because there's Bitcoin 59 and change, and IBIT up. IBIT down 1%, MSTR up. So that's kind of nice. And you had mentioned Robinhood. That's nice to see what that's doing. SoFi, not doing so great. I mean, it's up now, but it did have a nice move back into 1750. Now looking to take down $18 right now for SoFi. So we'll see what that can do. And then Palantir, man, right back up to 118. I'm going to put another offer right now. There it is.
I don't know why it doesn't say I have a position. Maybe we did a little reset, but I only have
Palantir.
I'm still long the T-triple-Qs.
Sometimes if you,
by the way,
it might show up if you.
I'll have to do a transaction. Yeah, I mean, I could here. We'll take it off, guys. But again, I'm only sitting on absolutely nothing at this point. 74.17, long off the 71.90s, Katina.
So how much do you wind up holding? Because I would by that point, I'd have like 10% left.
I have like 2% left. Yeah, I have absolutely nothing. We offloaded this on the way up, and the majority of us taking it off was our biggest partial was this third one right here at 72.62.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so just a little bit under $1. Now I'm just sitting on literally 2.5%. So nothing substantial whatsoever.
All right, we've done a little bit of work today. Obviously looking at a lot of these tech names. I mean, Joe and I trade, some bigger tech names. What's GemQ? This is one that's sort of been halting around here today.
Oh man, we might hit the $3 club here on
TQs is nuts, and I love that trade for you. Nice move back higher there as a NASDAQ up 0.93. And I just wanted to look because we are focused a lot, obviously, on the tech space. But look at this, man. It's a pretty good board today.
Yeah.
Google up 3, Amazon up 5, Tesla up 5. Look at these producers down here. AMAT, Lamb, GE Vernova upside, Caterpillar probably all-time. Is that an all-time high for Caterpillar's over $1,000 right now. Like, talk about a great trade there for Caterpillar. My iRen's probably doing nothing, probably just iRenning to the downside most likely. But there's financials there. There's our Micron. So yeah, the memory names and some of the names that have been really sort of hot fire over the last little while, including Intel. I mean, we had put down Intel as a short to start with. We didn't get it, but that's down 5. So that's interesting as well. Marvell's battling back, only down 3 right now. So that's interesting. Apple also down right now, not doing well. Utilities, again, with some of these big names like the Googles and the Amazons, you are going to see a little bit of emptying out on some of the utility names. Again, dividend payers, they're getting hit a little bit today as some of the action goes back into electronics. So other than that, man, Eli Lilly, kaboom. There's 52-week highs, right, for Eli Lilly. Our all-time, what am I talking about? 1,200 right now for Eli Lilly, man. We are loving that. Past all-time high, $1,215, now $1,220 for, as Adara says, Little Miss Lily right there. Not so little anymore, as that's now over, LLY. That is now over that $1 trillion club, I believe anyways, is Eli Lilly now at all-time highs and doing well. And
whoa.
My guy over there, Joe, talk about Katina Wilson Capital.
Yeah.
Joe, we printing on J&J there.
Oh, you added that,
223 or so.
Okay.
256 right now for Johnson & Johnson.
I didn't sign off on that one, but that's all right.
You didn't?
Maybe I don't
You
don't need that. You don't
look what
need
Johnson
that.
Johnson's doing right here. Off the daily chart. Johnson, okay, next time I'll get the approval.
No. Hey, you put some things up like J&J up there. You don't even need the approval at this point, brother. You're just rocking. We just buy whatever with the utmost confidence in each other to see what we got going on.
What is your call here for the TQs? Or did you just stop? Are you out of it?
No, I have 2.5%.
Because you're at VWAP.
Yeah. I took some more off right here. I mean, at this point, I think there's a couple of things that are going to happen, right? So you either fail. So what happens is you put in a lower high, or you're going for the pre-market high or that opening drive, the opening auction high of around $718 on the NASDAQ. All right. So those are my if and then. I don't have enough. I don't care. I could hold it all the way back to break even. It's not going to change a thing within the P&L because I got a $500 vet bill coming up. So at this point, we're going to have to put on a little bit more shares, Sean.
I'm just going to apply for more. I'm just going to apply for more buying power for you.
Yeah.
Because that way we get, we just answer the call by more shares.
Exactly. Just buy more shares. So again. That's the boat that I'm sitting in right now. We either head back towards the lows, the momentum starts to pick up to the downside, or we're actually making that push for the opening drive high of $718.
Do you like Ozan at all, or?
He's
I know that sometimes you can be tough on people in the chat. I feel like but here it is. Ozan says either Katina Capital and Katina Wilson Capital adopts me, or I chain myself to tradertv.live's doors.
Okay.
I don't advise you chaining yourself to anything,
especially in the winter months. It would probably get a little bit cold.
Saw and it will get you unchained real quick.
Over
there. So I don't advise doing that.
Are you looking to bring in maybe another person into the household?
We are looking. I did see what Adara wrote down there. We are looking for a potential research analyst.
Oh.
So potentially Adara, although I kind of feel like she's already working with Katina.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just do it all, guys.
Yeah.
Do it all? Okay, so you're going to drop the reports, right? Like we had the fantastic short report coming from Adara on Oracle.
She's going to give us, she's going to do the in-depth research.
Okay.
And then you and I are just going to hit the keys like a bunch of like,
doorknobs.
We'll just buy ourselves. But we have a new position right now, so we'll go face Slappa right now. And there it is, man. Kaboom! We get right back into SpaceX, baby. And this is what we're doing. Every single day, we're trying to make some money and trade these markets. And we talked about getting short at 154.50s. We do that. And now it's coming. We do. We do that. Do-wop. And there it comes out to the downside, 153.80. Hey, man, let's go. Let's put our little scalping hat on now. We'll punch some out more at 93. Hey, let's just take 50 cents on SpaceX.
Okay.
We don't need this thing to absolutely collapse. If it does, it does. We're already out of half. So we're out of half. Let's get out. Actually, now I'm out of half of this name as it starts to come back in. I'm also bidding 75s. Maybe we get that. I lied. I'm bidding 77s. So we're sitting right there at 77 to see if we can get that fill. And did we just get it? No, we did not. We're waiting for it. Hopefully that will come back in and we'll get that fill. And then we'll wait to see about a 153 bid there on SpaceX. So I'm going to put one at 153.25. Hopefully we're able to get that. But yeah, so far so good here on the day as we run that on SpaceX. Now give me that down there in the 70s if we can get that bid, as it just came right up into that last... Boom. Here's the downside.
Shakalaka.
We get that fill. Now it's coming back up. Could be potential news here for SpaceX. Let's go back over. Are we ready for Adara?
Shablamo.
Then let's go, man. It's Sector Watch. We just did a little bit of that. Let's go get a more in-depth look with Adara.
Before we get that in-depth look, I do want to let you guys know, I put the headline on the screen. I'll read it again for you guys here, hearing more about this meeting here in Doha, Qatar with U.S. and Iran. We know that President Trump posted about that this morning, but we didn't have too many details. Seeing reports from Axios that Witkoff and Kushner, so Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, envoys here, they're going to be traveling to Doha today. They'll meet on Tuesday with the Qatari Prime Minister and other officials to discuss talks with Iran. Apparently, the U.S. and Iranian technical teams will separately be meeting on Wednesday with Qatari and Pakistani mediators. So the meeting will start tomorrow. Looks like the bulk of it's going to be on Wednesday. And let's get to the bulk of our Sector Watch segment. Lots of strength in tech services. You've got Palo Alto Networks up 7%, Fortinet up 3%, CrowdStrike just had a downgrade up 7%. So lots of strength right away, as you can see here in that cybersecurity sector. Google and Meta holding up the fort here as well. So lots of strength in these Mag 7s in the sector. Microsoft also green, though, to a much smaller extent. Producer manufacturing strong here. GEV, LRCX, and AMAT continuing to the upside. Consumer durables, the lone green name here is Tesla. Rest of this is going to be flat to weaker. Strength in consumer services for the most part. Comcast, of course, still up only 9%, so it's pulled back sharply here. But CMCSA in focus here after announcing that spinoff of their Universal and Sky businesses, communications. Speaking of CMCSA, in a very adjacent sector, you've got weakness in TMUS, Verizon, and though the most direct satellite play here, EchoStar, is actually up about 3.5% today. You've also got strength in finance and electronic tech, pretty mixed. Nvidia and Broadcom to the upside. Same with KLAC, though Intel, Micron, AMD, Marvell, even Dell, some of these high-flying names in electronic technology pulling back sharply today. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Sending you back over to the guys.
All right, we see Sia's back in the building there. So we say, hey, what's up to Sia coming through there. Nice, I like that nice little outfit there. We'll see what Sia's going to bring to the show here in the midday as she gets all locked and loaded as well. It's 10:45, and we welcome everybody to Trader TV Live.
Yep.
Great, obviously great trade there on the TQs. Are you still in?
Still in it.
I keep asking you because it's not on the board.
I don't know why it keeps popping on and off. They must got something going on over there, but
that's okay. They'll get that reloaded, of course, as we try to figure out who's working every single day these days. But yeah, 154 coming in. Well, yeah, I mean, this is summertime.
Yeah. Well, it's summertime, and I understand that you get to go on vacation, but your boy's here every day. You know that, right?
Every day?
When am I not here?
I don't know. What'd you say?
When was the last time? I'm the 10th. Yeah, I got the 10th off. Man.
Okay.
I got the 10th off.
Take some time off.
Yeah.
I think you deserve. I mean, we all get the same, amount of. Well, I probably have more days than you, but.
But how many days? Yeah, I know. You know what?
Don't worry how many days I have.
I'm curious.
I don't know.
I might need you to send me, forward me your S8. How many days you have left on there? So I can just get a
Wilson Capital.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's full disclosure on all ends of things, and then I can kind of get a.
So you send me yours, and I'll send you mine.
Yeah. Well, there's not very many left on there.
Okay, so I'll just wait to see yours, and then you just send, send that. And
all right, fair enough, man. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a relationship. We're in a working relationship.
We're in a business relationship.
I do believe, just like the stock market, we need to be fully transparent with each other. All right, we're $1. I mean, you can see my trades here. We're $1.70 now in the money. As there it goes, we just took another fill here on PLTR. So, I mean, this name is just going. This is going to be my number one stock of the day. We did buy it off VWAP there, and then when it came back in, we only had a certain percent left. Unfortunately, I don't remember at the time, but if you were here about 10 o'clock, I probably said it. And then we were trying to buy it off 116. So this is just another one of those examples where you're giving yourselves 50 cents worth of risk, and now you're in the money $1.50, $1.50 right now. But we were starting to clear it out there for 50 cents, and then $1, and now $1.50 as it now goes 3 to 1. And that's something that you can use if you're sort of struggling with getting out too early. Is the ratio sort of example, right? 1 to 1, take some out. 2 to 1, get some more out. 3 to 1, and then if you are really in a banger, then maybe you get that 4 to 5 to 1 or so. I think that's what I'm doing right now with SpaceX as a perfect example, because we just took another fill there at 154 flat. So my stop on SpaceX is actually 155. So there it is. Now we're $1 in the money on SpaceX, as this thing for some reason is trying to collapse all over itself. So let's just cross up there and we get filled at 57, and there it is, right there at our 25 period. So yeah, man, we are starting to now cash out a little bit here on SPCX, as now that's coming back in. This has been, honestly, nothing's life-changing when I'm making trades around here, but just to see the way this has been moving since its IPO day. I think we've traded it every single day, and I don't think I've had a red day on this name, and it's been lucky. It's like, you could go wrong. Like, we were wrong here at 154, and just the fact that we split up and we changed our direction and we started to go short on SpaceX, like, that's what made sort of that decision work. And sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. And right now SpaceX has been making its move down. I'm gonna take another bid here at 79. There we go, we got it. This has also been just a very volatile stock. So what I've actually done, Joe, to help myself trade is lower my shares.
Yeah.
Because let's just say I want to use a certain amount of shares. If I only take half of that, I'm less likely to stop out early.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm widening the stop, right? And lessening the shares. So at the end of the day, if the trade works out, my P&L will be fine. But the risk, if it doesn't work out, right, hopefully I'm not digging a hole because I've used more shares. So it's just it's about trying to understand the risk rewards of every single trade that you're putting on. And I think we, both you and I and all of us around here, because we've been here for so long, that's the best part of this game, is understanding where your strengths and your weaknesses are.
Absolutely.
A lot of us scalp in and out quickly. Some of us hold for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all trying to make a little bit of cash.
Exactly.
And I think we're doing a decent job here today. And I hope everybody is liking and hitting the like, hitting the subscribe button.
Let's see. Maybe we should check in on them, see how many people we have liked and subscribed.
Well, people like you more than me, so you check on it, and then you do a little bit of
Well, apparently I'm long Palantir now and short SpaceX.
Well, congratulations
so,
on the long
Palantir. And you're short.
Sick
so this
trading.
is what I'm talking about,
This is what happens on Katina Wilson Capital.
Like, it doesn't matter
positions.
What's going on.
Please do not tell our compliance department.
Yeah. We don't want that.
Because, we're not allowed to just be like,
hey,
putting fungible shares back and forth over here. We are 4 minutes away from what's for lunch.
Oh.
So,
Does Joe get the gains?
Brace yourself.
Brace yourself. What's for lunch?
Wait to see what's for
lunch. We're starting to get
back to the gym.
Yeah. Are you excited about that? I think.
Yeah, I think whenever you take a couple of days off,
you're just like, hey, you feel a little.
Yeah. Like I'll probably get wrecked.
Like that.
I got the kettlebell and I was doing some squats with it the other day.
Oh, you know what?
So on my way to Vermont, I was like sitting there and thank God for the full self drive.
Yeah.
Because like my legs were hurting, boy.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there in the car. I was like, what the hell's wrong with my knees? What the hell's wrong with my quads and everything like that? Maybe I'm not doing the squats.
So quick before we get back into the market, on the weekends I like to go to the outdoor calisthenics gym. Right?
You're kidding? You got tons of sun.
Right? Exactly. So I'm out there working out, but Sunnyside Pool is now open, which is just
I know,
like a little bit of a walk, like a kilometer and a half, right? So what I do is I'll work out in the nice hot sun, and then I'll go for a little swim. And then I remember, I thought you mentioned this, so people are running their lanes, they're doing their laps, but they had the little hand flippers. You got those too? I think you said you had those. Yeah. I think that works good. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, it's so you get better resistance.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously, the
so
higher the gear, you're pulling the water
Right.
back, right? Use a little bit more muscle in there, but then also it picks up your speed a little bit too, right? It's like
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Because you have a little bit more wider of a base. So that was a lot of fun. We were swimming on Saturday, but what we're swimming in right now is a couple of dollars in the T-triple-Qs. Bang, bang, bang. It's starting to pull back pretty aggressive.
You're long,
guys.
though.
This is what I am very much long. Now, I was talking about the lower high that was going to be established. That seems to be the case. Now, where's my add opportunity going to be? It has to be the break of this trend line. So that's where I'm going to be looking to add some more shares. But then we can also tell if the price action and the momentum starts to pick up that we might head towards those lows. Then it just completely flips the narrative. We failed to establish a new high, putting in a lower high. But now what I want to look for is if we start to head back towards our indecision print and our volume spike is a higher low for some form of a continuation, maybe back into this trend line. DRAM heading towards the south side. We have NVDA going back towards the volume weighted average price. IBIT down to 33.50, and SpaceX just hovering around, been consolidating for about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, SpaceX is starting to bother me here because it's not going down. So I'm gonna put another bid here at 154. Well, we got those fills. So, right now, SpaceX, we can't turn this one into a loser. Part of trading is trying to trade with house money a little bit, and you got to take some profits when the profits are there. So, we got to be able to watch out for that trade. Again, 155 breaking on SpaceX, and we are at what's this? ASTT has halted. Nope, that might be a new might be a new one coming out there. Oh, SDOT. SDOT's a former runner, crazy, man. This was $8 last week. SDOT. $31 today. So, Joe, why didn't Katina Wilson Capital get involved in SDOT?
No, but we bought TKO at 185.
And what's that at 2 something?
I didn't check out 218, man. You didn't sign off on that one.
Oh, come on. Why are you giving me a hard time?
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't pass it on. I was like, you know what? He's gonna like this pick so much, just because I know you're a big WWE guy.
Not really. I used to be.
You used to be.
But they are coming here in August for SmackDown, and I was thinking of taking the boys.
Okay.
Yeah, for some Friday Night SmackDown.
We
are very close to getting SmackDown on SpaceX right here. It's just going to take there it goes. Bye-bye. It's going to take 155, and we're just going to stop out immediately. Hands off. This is full self-drive trading. Hands off the wheel. If it breaks 155, we're going to get out. We don't have to disengage, nothing. There it goes. I don't even know if it broke there, but it still got stopped out. There might have been a dark pool that just broke that 155. Look at it holding. So there it goes. Oh, yeah. See, it just went to 155.02 and came right back. Maybe there's a seller here. Do you want to sell this? I'm going to offer 155. There we go. Now we're short at 155. I'm going to give it to 155.25. If it breaks 155, look at the seller here. It's an unlimited seller. Give it to me, Joe. What do you got? There it goes. It breaks.
It's gone.
We just put on half a unit there.
I think we trend here.
Let's wait to see what winds up happening. Yeah, there's a break. There was a seller there. They broke him or her, and now now it seems like it's trying to go upside through 155 now is SpaceX. Let's see if the buyer, okay. We're short right now. We're giving 25 cents to see what happens to SpaceX. Do we got to go back to the desk there? It's Money Talks or something. Are we going back? Yes, then let's go. It's Money Talks.
This is going to get, I think
Money talks, but are we listening? Let's take a look here at the DXY. This is the third straight red session for the US dollar. Not too much to say here in terms of economic data for today, though. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting here the JOLTS job openings at 10 a.m. And then Thursday morning's the final day of this short holiday week. We will be getting NFP and other employment data. So employment data in focus, but later in the week. Keep an eye as well here on the USD to the JPY. This was in focus, and I'll go to a shorter time frame chart here. As you can see in the 3-minute, you did have around 10 a.m. that jolt to the downside. USD was actually trading with the JPY at 40-year lows for the JPY. Then at 10 a.m., you hear some intervention in the JPY, and then you get that spike down in the dollar. So be aware here. I'm also actually currently seeing comments from Fed's Cook saying that the Supreme Court's decision to leave the lower court's order in place and affirm the need for real process and real cause recognizes the Federal Reserve independence is essential to congressional mandates. So I was going to talk about this later, but as we know here, Fed's Lisa Cook, as I mentioned earlier, Supreme Court's allowing her to stay in the role. This was a tight decision, 5-4 in favor. And again, this is just for now. Basically, it means that President Trump cannot immediately fire her, though, of course, Bill Pulte of the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. He's also in the FHFA. He already posted on X immediately afterwards that he still thinks she's going to get indicted for mortgage fraud. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens. But either way here, Lisa Cook and the Fed in watch. She's still in the Fed for now. Let's take a look now at the CME Fed Watch tool. 70% chance we're going to get rates held at this next meeting in 1 month from today, July 29th, 2026. Just under 30% chance that rates will get hiked by 25 basis points. Probabilities here have not changed. We're still seeing the potential of a 25 basis point hike in September and then not much of a change going forward. But as we get this economic data, including jobs data in the coming weeks, this is going to be in focus, guys. Back to you.
Right there, 118.50. As you see our guy sitting back down here, Sharif is in the building. Get ready for some good trading here. And another great show coming to you on the midday from Sharif and Joe. I know Joe's been dealing with some issues there back home. Milo, and we'll hope the best for him again. That rascal.
You have no idea, man.
Oh, I do. Trust me, man. I know about these dogs, and it's it's a problem there.
It's a big problem.
Well, he's only a year.
He's a year and he's 1.5, man. He's fully grown. You should be paying rent at this point.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I got a 25-year-old at home. I'm trying to pay 24 years old, trying to make him pay some rent coming up there. But you know what we can do right now? Talk about what's for lunch today. This flag always scares the living crap out of me. I'll tell you why. Because it's a Japanese flag.
Oh, okay.
And love the food. But this has been...
Yeah.
Sharif just tried to give me some shrapnel over here. He knows exactly where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
This got me off the tilapia because one day it was teriyaki tilapia.
Ooh.
And that was rough. That looked like sashimi when that was served over here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, pass. Hey, listen, I started a trend here. I was the first individual to take the tilapia off the lunch list.
Were you?
Yeah. There's no way I was
hey, man, good move, man. Shout out to you on that one.
Jure, boys, how do I?
All right. So it's a Japanese flag.
Okay.
I will read the first 2 words.
Do it.
Teriyaki glaze.
Okay. Chicken.
It's a fish.
Oh, man. Salmon, yes!
It's salmon, baby.
Let's go.
Let's say we don't got the
Straight to the bicep.
So this is one of the best ones.
That's what I'm talking about.
The best meals, I feel like.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Salmon is well cooked here. The teriyaki is nice. So we're going to get the teriyaki glazed salmon fillet.
Let's go.
We've got the steamed jasmine rice. We've got the sauteed vegetables. And we've got the mixed green salad in the building. So that's what's for lunch. We'll cook that up. You don't cook up salmon like that. Teriyaki, you can maybe barbecue it. I think these guys bake it right there. But that is what's for lunch. And it's teriyaki.
That's what I'm talking. You got to try it. You got to put one of those birds on the barbecue.
Oh, I will. Yeah. Yeah, that chicken is because I didn't get home till late that day.
Yeah.
And we had baseball 8 to 10.
Yeah, I remember.
So she baked it, and then I had it.
It's still good. It's great.
She basically just tore it all up and threw it on a salad.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
So that was fire.
It's good, nice
the
and tender and stuff.
The pepper's actually quite prevalent.
You like it?
Really tasty.
Yeah.
I think that was
really good stuff.
That was a really good record.
Multiple different flavors. Man, I feel like
actually, I'm not in SpaceX anymore.
I'm still in the TQQs looking for an ad opportunity. I'm posted up at 73.60s. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think I've been
honest with me always.
Always. I think I've been a massive influence in the menu. Yeah, within the Katina household. Have I not been? Like
you've got some great recommendations.
You know what I mean? And you come back and you're like,
dropped
hey,
us those veal meatballs.
The meatballs, just going to Farm Boy in general.
No, hold on the going to Farm Boy, my God.
Stop, man. The sausages and everything. Come on, man. Give credit where it's due.
Man, I've been going to Farm Boy probably before you were born, my guy. Honestly, going
Farm
to Farm
Boy. Dude.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I started the Farm Boy trend. Yeah, we run into issues here now a little bit. That's
no, Joe and I like Farm Boy is like a little, it's kind of like, here's a story for you. Vermont. My new favorite, let me guess, this is your favorite store as well?
Let's see, talk to me.
Trader Joe's.
Oh, I've never been.
Okay, go. Your namesake. Okay, well,
copyright.
I'm surprised it's not your favorite store to shop.
I started it.
Okay, so so there you go. But Trader Joe's, man, they had some great. I love Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
well-priced stuff. Interesting stuff there. Good, like little snack, like little, frozen things, like fruit, dried fruit, all that kind of stuff. Great. Yeah. Picked up some edamame, for the athlete.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so then you know what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. The soybeans, they're in the little the beans.
Yeah.
They have the soybean inside, and they're often salt, just very, very basic. Here, I'll just give you a whole bunch. Anyways, edamame. You don't know what edamame is?
No, I just said I didn't, man. No idea.
Okay, that's fine. We'll figure that all out later. But yeah, edamame, great. That was really good. Beef jerky up in there.
Okay.
Very good. I'm definitely a big fan of Trader Joe's. Put some ones or twos. I mean, everybody in the chat. You guys like Trader Joe's?
I feel like you'd be if you lived in California, you'd be that Erie one type individual.
I don't know. Erie one? I don't know what that is. I like avocado toast.
How do you say it? How do you say it, Ramin? Erewhon. Yeah. It just shows you how much I know.
Yeah, same, man. I have no idea. Basically, we are now short here on SpaceX one more time, and we got our scalper hat on, right? And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to just make sure we take a little bit of profit here on that. Get out of here, my guy.
See you, man.
Thank you for the show. That was a great one. Hopefully working with you the rest of the week. We will be with Joe coming through. We only have Shreve for a couple more days. He'll tell a story, obviously, when he's coming through here on the midday. But here's SpaceX. So now we're 50 cents in the money on this one. We're short SpaceX. But we're not short Palantir, unfortunately. That is a wrong look. That's a great price to be short, but I'm not. We got out of it right there, and we're still holding a little bit as this retraces right back into VWAP. But we're short right now on SPCX. It went to VWAP. So we're going to do that over and over again. We're going to try to call the short there on SpaceX, as here it comes right back in. We're doing quite well here today, and we've been really happy. It's been a great day. It's great to be back. We took off Thursday, Friday. We went to Vermont. It was absolutely fantastic. Went to we went to Vermont had this called the Pinery. They had a really good, let me see if I put it up here. Here it is right here. Oh, here's my daughter, by the way. So this is what she was at it's a showcase. So it was really cool, man, to see her out there. She had a great time. So did we all. And then this was it here. I don't know if you guys know about the Pinery at all. It was really cool. It's just we'll go to it there in a second. It's just an open market right here. It was a lot of fun. Wow, I got to work on my camera action here. But food trucks everywhere. A lot of fun there on the Saturday night, I think it was. Let's go back over to Adara for some breaking news.
I do have some news here, guys, and it involves AAPL. It also involves a man named Senator Tom Cotton, who we'll get to in a minute. Keep an eye on Apple. Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas saying, quote, Apple using blacklisted China chips would be a mistake. Now, as we discussed this morning, Apple apparently looking to use some chips from China. That is a huge simplification of the story coming from Senator Tom Cotton, but I will use my vast knowledge of the U.S. Senate to give you guys some more background on China hawk Tom Cotton. Now, Senator Cotton also previously, going back to August of 2025, spoke not too positively about Lip-Bu Tan, who at that point was the pretty new CEO of Intel because of his connections to China. Now, that aired on Fox News on a Thursday morning, and a couple minutes after that, President Trump posted calling for Lip-Butan's firing. Now, obviously, we know how that worked out. Lip-Butan and Trump got along, and then the U.S. government invested in Intel. But either way, guys, not the first time Senator Tom Cotton has chimed in on companies with regards to China. Not a fan here of this move from Apple. Another Apple story, pretty minor here. The Verge reporting, citing a separate report from TrendForce, that certain Mac and iPad devices could be getting an upgrade with regards to OLED. Back to you.
It's our time to shine.
I like me. I'm just like cracking.